10 o'clock. Welcome one and all. I know it's a little bit late. I do apologize. I have had a lot of things on today, outside of uploading some videos, of course. But here I am. So I'm doing this live stream, and while I'm waiting for a few people to get in, hello to everybody who's in so far. Okay, here we go. We are live. I'm just going to share this across the platforms. Just get a few more people in. Sorry, 1 second, everyone. Just creating a link on YouTube. And then, okay, that's good. That's on there. I'm not ignoring you. 1 second. 1 second. All right, let's put it on social media. Okay, shared. Great. Reason why I want to do this is because I want as many people in here as possible, and hopefully some of these fanatics who've got a lot of things to say in the comment section come on live, because I need as many people to see these people cry as possible. Okay, so let's go up and down the comment section real quick to say hello to everybody. We have, oh my goodness, how do you say your name? Carl Luchez, hello. Alex, hello. Josh, hello. Robski, hello. Jamie M, hello. DJ N1, oi oi. Robsy again. Carluccio, I apologize. Hello. KC Boxing, hey, what's up? And Nightingale. Do I think Tom Lewis will show up? Well, maybe. Hide in the background somewhere, or under his other alias accounts, maybe. Katana, good to see you. Jamie M, big up. I'm all good, thanks, Alex. I'm all good, thank you, Katana. Hope you lot are too. Ash, oi oi. Josh, I'll see you again. Jack Gladman, big up. Matchmaker extraordinaire from the Northeast. Hope you're good, Jack. GR33N, Zone 21. Tyson's a big dosser. I'm not too sure if Tyson's a big dosser, but there's some of his fanatics are, that's for sure. They are what they preach. But I mean, Tyson has a lot of great fans. He's got a lot of quality fans, let's be honest. But the minority support it for the majority. And I don't mean to make a live stream to talk about them, because, yeah, they're not worthy of the attention. But, screw them all. Oh, here we go. Here he is. Here he is. Come and join me on the live stream. Come and join me in the live stream. Carl Jones, my man. Hope you're good too. Anyone seen BT Fury versus Wilder analysis today? I haven't. Oh, sorry, yeah, I've seen one with Shane McGuigan. I've seen a clip on Instagram. Charlo, what's up? Yes, I want all the smoke. But they trust me, they ain't going to want it today. They ain't going to want it. I'm right in the mood for them. Are you getting the Fury Fanatics on face call? Absolutely. They have the choice. They can use their avatar. They can use their face. They can use their backside for all I care. As long as they come in here and tell the whole world why Tyson Fury is their god, why he is so fantastic, why he is above criticism. More importantly, Abdullah, what's up? And if you keep on doing that, I'll just delete your comment. Actually, you know what? Let's put you on a little bit of a timeout because you're spamming the comment section. One of that. Ready to make more Fury and Wilder fans cry? Listen, it ain't difficult, is it? All you got to do is mention their name. Oh, what are you talking about him for? I love their nipples. Emma Willis, hope you're good. Come on through. Who has Tyson fought to claim he's the best in the world? Exactly. Exactly. Never you mind about that. Where are you? Where are you? Come on, you big girls blouse. Where are you? G-Man, what's up? Hope you're good. There's only one heavyweight champion who's never defended the belt. Yep. Philip Carl Roberts, good to see you, my man. Hope you're good. Simple kind of man. The fight won't happen. Well, there's what, 2 weeks left now? It may well do. Big dose of Fury and Fury Fanatics. They won't turn up, Katana. They won't. They won't. They won't. They don't like it up them. There's a Dad's Army quote for anybody who doesn't know what that is. Francis, what's up? DJN1. How you doing, my brother? The family good. I'm very good, thanks, Devon. Hope you are too. That's a channel member right there. If anybody wants to be a channel member, I don't know if it's going to appear in the description box of this live. I don't know if all the settings are defaulted. I don't know, but maybe there's something in the description box. If you want to have your name at the beginning of each and every video, you go for it. I've just said to you, drop your email. Look, let me explain it again. This is how it works, okay? Because if I just put the link in the chat, what's going to happen is I'm going to have every Tom, Dick, and Harry on here. I want you. So drop your email in the comment section, then I will send you an email. Okay, you got that? Carl Robinson, thanks, man. I appreciate it. What's up, Zach? Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Dylan gets on with a southpaw. This will be his first southpaw fighter. And then I'm way behind on everything. Let me get down. I'm not ignoring anyone. Let me quick go through it. Shahid, good up, big up. Maya, big up. Hope you're good. Emma Willis, big up. Hope you're good. Callum Hayes, hope you're good. The Phantom Solid Dollar. Look at these bloody troll accounts. Look at them. You see what I mean? With these absolute freaks. That's what they are, because they sit in their mum's house, got nothing better to do than troll. Because see, they can create all these accounts, but it takes me 1 second, put you in a timeout. It's very simple, isn't it? See, look at them all. See, none of them are actually going to come on, are they? I didn't ask you for me to give you my email. I asked you to drop your email in the chat, you complete waste man. That's what you are. Look at these absolute troll accounts. What's up, Lewis? Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Big up, Benny. Hope you're good too. Who broke the Fury fangirls? Their mums did when they gave birth to them. That's what happened. I hope I'm not missing anybody. I do apologize if I am. Rishi, what's up? Hope you're good. Just created a new account to spam. I've timed him out. Well, that's okay. He can create as many accounts as it likes, because it takes him a lot longer to create troll accounts than it does for me. Just put him on the naughty seat. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him on the naughty seat. John McDermott undisputed 2023. You know what? I'm surprised some of these Fury fanatics haven't come out and said that John McDermott's the second best heavyweight to ever live. Can't wait for White versus Wallin. It's going to be interesting. There's a couple of Tyson Furies in the world, so technically incorrect, you fanboys. I don't know how to say your name. Why do you not like? I do like Tyson Fury, but I don't like the fact that he conned the boxing public when it came to the Anthony Joshua fight. That's my only problem. Oh, and the fact that he lies a lot. That's my only issue with him. I've been a supporter of Tyson Fury since day one. Far longer than any of these fanatics. Any of them. Let's go down. Do you think we'll ever see a heavyweight undisputed? Hopefully we'll shut down the trolling. Well, hopefully it'd be nice. But I think the only way we're going to do it is if Dillian White gets that WBC belt and he goes fight Joshua. I think that's the only way we're going to get it, to be honest with you, because I can't see Fury doing it and I can't see Wild doing it. I'd love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And that's unfortunate to say that. David Price versus Hughie Fury would be an amazing fight. I wish Price would come back for it. Isn't he retired now, David Price? I think he's actually retired, isn't he? I'm not sure. Wilder is a actual cancer of boxing, block undisputed twice. Yep. If I put it on slow mode, then I'm going to be like an hour behind everybody in the chat. So I'd rather not. Isn't it worrying when you have to use somebody else's tagline, calling people dosses? Isn't it worrying? Trying to make someone put up their email up here, but won't put a link for them to come on week. Yeah. Well, if I put a link on here, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to get everybody trying to jump in. I need these one at a time. Let them explain to the world why Tyson Fury is so amazing and why they feel the need to defend a 6'9" heavyweight champion. They're all in their feelings. Simple as that. All good, strangeness. Hope you're good. Don't email from you. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Get these trolls out of here. Wastemen. Exactly. Oh, you are? Oh, that's good, man. Is that still the Pat Barrett show that you're doing? Matthew Day, what is up? Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Amen. Of course, you can join. Anybody can join as long as you are a Tyson Fury fanatic. I'm not talking about a fan. I'm talking about a fanatic who's got an issue with me. That's what I'm talking about. I see the trolls here supporting Daddy Fury. Yeah. Go to subscriber mod only. I didn't know there was that one. I'm not too clued up with this whole StreamYard thing. I'm not clued up with it. I'm really not. On my old streams, I would always use OBS, where I could put up the imagery and all that kind of stuff and some fancy bits and bobs. But on this one, it's just basic, isn't it? But I don't even know exactly how it works, to be honest with you. This is what, the third time I've tried this one. Absolute losing the chat. If you don't like his channel, then don't bloody cut. Exactly, Arid. Exactly. But, you know, they're brought up wrong. They're brought up wrong. There you go. He's gone. Anyone remember when McDermott beat Fury? I do remember that fight, and I was absolutely gutted. I was sat there, and listen, I ain't going to lie. I was hoping that the judges gave it to Tyson Fury. I ain't going to lie about it. I did. But at the end of the day, I know it was a wrong decision. John McDermott should have got the decision in that one. But at the same time, we have to give Fury credit. He did get him back in the rematch. That's for sure. Is he? Okay. He is a con. You are so right. Fury Fanatics get 5 minutes on the naughty step tonight. Exactly. They do. Yeah, I got asked that question yesterday by Mark. Do I think Fury's bipolar? I don't know whether he is bipolar or it's deliberate, because I think Tyson Fury is a very, very intelligent man. He's very, very intelligent. He knows how to trigger emotional fanboys. That's what he knows how to do. He knows how to trigger them. He knows how to get them on their side. He's got a charge. Yeah, exactly, Rishi. Exactly. Fury will fight AJ. He was going to until Wilder took it to court. Or did they know that they were never going to fight AJ? Because the problem I have is that, I mean, if him and his team, see, a lot of you will remember, okay, I've interviewed Bob Arum on 2 occasions during this whole process when they were getting the undisputed fight on with Anthony Joshua. 2 occasions I did this. And of course, we're going through the whole Glovegate situation. Of course, I'm defending Fury, by the way. And he said to me on both occasions that the undisputed fight will happen. Wilder's gone. He can't stop it. You know, he's a lawyer of X amount of years. You know, he was part of the Kennedy lawyer cabinet and all that kind of stuff. He knows what he's talking about. Not a judge in the world would award this to Wilder. We know what we're talking about. Don't worry about sporting icons. It's not a problem. This is what Bob Arum was telling me. A lot of you have seen those interviews. So that's my problem. In the whole build-up to the Anthony Joshua fight, that didn't happen in the end. There was nothing but kickback. Eddie Hearn can't get it done. Eddie Hearn can't get the money. Anthony Joshua don't want the fight. Tyson Fury's putting out posts saying, will Anthony Joshua duck me? All this kind of stuff. And then suddenly Eddie Hearn does get it on. Anthony Joshua does send through contracts and offers and this, that, and the other. Coincidentally, one day, I'm telling you right now, one day, so hours before the official announcement of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, what happens? The judge rules in Wilder's favor. Coincidence? SI Golden, SI Boxer, SI Loga, SI Gloves. Yeah. Well, I got that from your mum. Do you want to come on in? Bet you won't. On the White Wallen fight, it's interesting. I don't think White has the firepower to keep a fit and focused Dean off him. Oh, Wallen doesn't have the firepower. I'm hoping. I ain't gonna lie. Fury will tire the Wilder 47. But I hope Fury batters him. That's what I hope. Good evening, Icons. Love the streams. Hope all is good with you and the family. Blessings from IE. Big up, Callum. Hope you're good. Fury's becoming a hype job. Well, Dino, I don't know. I mean, it's got nothing. I mean, my argument with Fury at the minute is nothing to do with his ability or anything like that. He could go on to become the best of this era. He could well be. But you don't get credit from me for being the best of this era until you fight the best of this era. Him and his lies, talking about how he's undisputed. I don't care about the belts. Okay, well, bin the belt then. If you don't care about it, bin it. But yeah. He's proven that he's a company man. What's this one? Have you noticed Fury doesn't have his day one team around him anymore? Well, yeah. Oh, you mean like Mick Hennessy and all that? Yeah, he doesn't. He's changed them all around. But, I mean, that's nothing unusual, really. I mean, that just seems to be boxing, unfortunately. It really is. Maybe. But I get the impression that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are very much in cahoots where they want to talk about Anthony Joshua, how bad Anthony Joshua is, but they're quite happy for other people to fight Joshua instead of them themselves. That seems to be the way, isn't it? Respect SI and everyone, GB. Yes. I told you what you need to do, Thomas. I told you what you need to do. You and your little fake... Actually, let me... Copied. Let's see if this does work. Yeah. Right. Nobody click this except Tom, because obviously I'll see who's coming through. There you go. Come on, Tommy boy. Abdullah and all you damn frauds. Yes, Ring Time Boxing. Hope you're good. Big up Newcastle, indeed. Awful football team lately. I ain't gonna lie. I'm very, very disappointed with the football team. Very disappointed. All right, let's put this guy on the naughty step as well. Show you. And we have How Do Sport, and what about Wilder saying Malik Scott never taught him anything? I never actually heard him say that, to be honest with you. I never heard him say it. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but I've never actually heard it the same, or heard Malik Scott say that. But I mean, to be honest, I don't really listen to Malik Scott too much anyway. I mean, he's going to be Team Wilder, and fair play to him. You know what I mean? Fair play to him. Come on, Tom. Where are you? I'm waiting for Tom. I could be a Derby supporter. Do you think White will KO Wallen? Maybe. I hope so. Be nice. I will actually get some people to join in a minute. I just want some of these Fury fanatics to come on in. Okay, hang on a second. I've got a couple of people here. There we go. Right. Let's see who's going to be a grown-up and actually talk, or who's going to spoil icons. But it's okay. I can sort them out. Right, let's start off with, right, who will go first? So anybody in the background, I do apologize. Okay, I'm not ignoring you. I'm going to give them about 2 or 3 minutes each. Wait a second. Here we go. Let's go here. Yo, you absolute moron. Go for it.
What's the crack, Matchroom Icons? What's the crack?
What? I can't hear you. Speak up.
Can you not hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hang on. It's okay. Sorry. I apologize. It's my fault. I had the...
Shall we have an adult conversation, or are you going to just talk over
adult conversation? Adult conversation, you little moron. Here you are with Matchroom Icons acting like a complete prick. And
Yeah.
and what? You want to talk to me about an adult conversation? Okay, go on
No,
then. Tell me what.
I've
Tell
been
me
looking at your
further.
little comment
Tell
section.
me
There we
further.
go.
Shut up.
There we go, son. There we go, son. Keep
Right,
talking
calm yourself
over me.
down. Calm yourself down a minute.
I'm very calm.
Tell me.
I'm not making
Hey,
50 videos a
Tell
day like
me
yourself, son.
why. Tell me why Tyson Fury is so great and everybody's not.
I don't believe he's so great. I think he's
What's-
a very, very
but
good
what's with all the
fighter.
troll
Are you going to
accounts?
let me talk? Or are you going to talk over me?
I will let you talk, but tell me why Tyson Fury is so great.
Well, he has 3, in my opinion, extremely good wins. He has 2 okay wins. He's a very good fighter, right? And I think he's probably the best right now, for sure, with his wins and stuff. But let's not talk about that. Talk about this
I can't disagree with that.
bullshit. This fanatical bullshit that you keep coming out with about people
Yeah.
who don't rim job AJ and fucking Dillian White.
I don't
Tell
care
me
if you
about
rim
this.
job AJ and Dillian White, but you're
You
rim
fucking
jobbing
do,
Tyson
mate.
Fury.
You fucking do. It's embarrassing. Look at your comment section, mate. It's fucking embarrassing.
Right.
The likes of Wizard Sleeve and all. Call these cunts out, please.
And say what to them?
Well, you talk about Fury fanatics. I'm a boxing fan first and foremost. I've stopped watching your channel for years, but it's banter now at this point. Going over to your channel and looking through the comment section, fucking flatly Fury, make a title defense and all this bollocks.
Right.
Call out everyone, mate. Call out everyone. You're turning into the British LDBC.
Okay.
You're like the fucking AJBC.
Have you never heard me go in on Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn before?
Never.
You never heard me do that.
No, and if you do, it's like, oh, they should just ignore Fury and Wilder because
No.
with all the top 10 wins
Nope.
and all. Fuck off, mate.
Nope, that's not what I said.
You
do know, right? And I've said this a few times that me and Eddie Hearn, we don't talk anymore because of certain things that I've said about him.
Right.
So how am I matching icons?
Listen, mate, I don't know how long you've had your channel, 3-4 years, right?
Right.
It's fucking ridiculous. The amount
Then why do you keep coming here? Then why do you keep coming here?
For him. If you can't see that, I mean,
Okay,
I don't
why
know
do you keep coming
a
here?
few nosebleeder tickets. He's giving you a few nosebleeder tickets to a few shows. I have
No. Happened once.
No, only once.
Once.
And White, fucking
Because I applied. Through Ted Cheeseman, because I'm friends with Ted Cheeseman.
You're friends with Ted Cheeseman, right?
Right.
Right. Well, I quite like Ted Cheeseman, actually. I think he's a fucking warrior, right? But
correct.
You need to stop protecting AJ. Look, you're mates with White. Fair. It sounds like
what's wrong with AJ?
With White. That's fine. AJ, fucking,
what's wrong with him?
He's in his 30s now, and he still hasn't fought anyone fucking proper. I mean, Parker is not a good win. I'm sorry, but it's not a good win. It's an okay win. Parker just went fucking life and death, but bloody Derek Chisora, for fuck's sake. How is that a good one? How is Charles Martin a good win?
Okay, right. So
how is Povetkin a good win?
Boxing is subjective, of course that, and you're entitled to believe that. Okay. Who wins in between, say, Anthony Joshua, Dillian White? Who wins right now?
Right now, I would say quite easily Anthony Joshua.
Okay. Who wins between, say, Anthony Joshua and Filip Herkovic? You like him?
I think that's a 50-50 fight, I'll be honest.
Okay. What about him versus Hughie Fury? What about him?
AJ against Hughie Fury.
Yeah.
I think he knocks him out in about 2-3 rounds.
What, Hughie Fury knocks out AJ?
I think it's a total fallacy that Hughie Fury has this fucking iron chin. He doesn't. Absolutely not. He's not been in with proper punchers yet. Okay.
Does Tyson Fury have an iron chin?
He does not, but he has extremely good powers of recovery, something AJ does not have.
I can agree with that.
Okay, good.
I can agree with that.
Very good. Good to hear.
But when it comes to Tyson, is he invincible?
Is he invincible? No one's invincible, mate. And you should be. If you've watched boxing long enough, like I have, everyone can get chinned on any given night. We all know that.
Okay, so now you're starting to come across as a Tyson Fury fan rather than a fanatic.
I'm not a fan of any man. I'm a boxing fan. That's what I am, right? Fury is, in my opinion, the best of this era. I think it's quite obvious. If you put any stock into how long Vladimir Klitschko reigned, Vladimir Klitschko was essentially unbeatable for fucking 10 years, right? And then Fury goes over there and does basically a complete another job on him. I mean, I keep hearing, but like say, Victor Bada. I don't know if you've ever met this man, Victor Bada, Wizard Sleeve. They say they know you. Is this true?
Not personally.
Not personally, right? Well, some of the shit these two boys come out with is fucking staggering to me. Victor Bada apparently says that Fury's win doesn't count because Vladimir Klitschko was depressed at the time. He was going through a divorce, and that the Vladimir Klitschko that AJ beat was much, much better than the one Fury beat. Can you is that the same opinion you have, or I'm curious?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And
my opinion on that one
knows that. Anyone that knows boxing knows that the Klitschko that Fury beat is twice the Klitschko AJ beat, because Klitschko was
I disagree with that point.
Klitschko was about to break Joe Lewis's record on that night in 2015, and Fury prevented him from doing that.
Do you remember the Tyson Fury of 2015?
Say that again. Sorry, we interrupted each other. Say that again.
Do you remember the Tyson Fury of 2015? Yeah, 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. Not many people were picking him to beat David Haye. I certainly wasn't. I was picking David Haye to beat him. Had that fight went ahead.
I had tickets to that fight.
Okay, so basically, what I'm getting at is not many people were rating Tyson Fury at that point. That'd be fair to say, right?
Very fair to say. He was actually he was ridiculed among the British boxing fans,
exactly.
as I can remember, and a lot of them were saying he's not British, he's Irish. That's what used to be said about Fury.
Well, Fury said that about himself. He because he tried to change his nationality to Irish, didn't he? But
he did for the Olympics, but there was a bit of politics going on, a bit of shithousery, and he ended up.
But the point is that I think Vladimir Klitschko overlooked him. And I think in the rematch, we would have seen a different one. I still think Fury...
There was a lot of bad blood in that, if you can remember. There was a lot of bad blood.
Because of the build-up, correct, yes.
Massive amounts. And Fury got under his skin, and I think Klitschko really wanted to fucking knock him out, if the truth be told. And I think Fury totally and utterly played him. Yeah,
because I don't think that Klitschko expected Fury to fight that way. I certainly didn't expect him to fight that way, I ain't going to lie. And I was so proud of him. I really was. And I know people say that was a boring fight. It was one of the most boring fights. I remember watching it live. I was on the edge of my seat, hoping for that final belt.
I was at the fight myself. I was expecting, truth be told, I was expecting Fury to get knocked out because of how great a champion Vladimir.
Do you think that Fury would have beat him in the rematch?
That's why people like myself put so much stock into that win, because Klitschko was so dominant for so many years. I mean, I put fucking thousands of euro on David Haye to beat Klitschko. I was convinced he was going to beat Klitschko. I was so convinced. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. And then it was just a fucking beatdown. The bigger man, big man them essentially, and it was just a total beatdown. And then when Fury was going to fight Haye the first time, I put money on Fury because I just thought the exact same thing would happen. Haye, I know he beat Valuev, but he couldn't really deal with big men who were somewhat athletic. And Fury, Klitschko, I thought I was going for Fury, obviously, but I was sure that Klitschko would get to him just because he was so effective at getting to people. But look, I think the point is you need to stop with the division and stuff like that. It's not working. I mean, look, I don't see too many Fury fanatical fans, to be honest. I see a lot of AJ fanatical fans, and I see even more Wilder fanatical fans. I don't particularly see Fury fanatical fans. The people that say Fury's the greatest of all time are fucking idiots, right? They haven't got a clue about boxing. Maybe he will prove to be the best of this era. I certainly think he's definitely on course. I think he's about 1 or 2 wins away from being the best of this era. But I see a lot more AJ fanatical fans, I'll be honest, and some of them frequent your comment sections quite a lot. I've mentioned to Wizard Sleeve, very much so, and also Victor Bada. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm not a divisive kind of guy. That's my thoughts.
Okay, that's fine. But the reason why I say Fury fanatics, okay, I'm not talking about Fury fans. I'm talking about the fanatics, the ones who come here who, if I just say a little bit negativity about Fury, and there's been a lot of negativity about Fury over like the last few weeks, and surely you can understand why.
To be honest though, I would always put more blame on AJ because he can't seem to get the big fights going, and this frustrates boxing fans like myself. I mean,
Yeah, but don't you
AJ
think that Fury and Bob Arum and Warren were in it together, and they never had any plans on doing this?
I don't see that. I think.
But John Fury said the same thing, though.
John Fury makes a lot of good points and he makes some bad points. But personally, what I see as a boxing fan, AJ's turned pro since 2013, and he's been in one fight where people wanted to see it, which was the Klitschko fight, and he hasn't been in any other fights where it was a 50-50 fight, essentially. I mean, even Ruiz, he was a 50-1 underdog. He was not even ranked in the top. I think he was ranked about 21st or something, if memory serves me right. He was not a top 20 fighter even, and he knocked Anthony Joshua out. I mean, I'm just not seeing this story that AJ has.
Well, here's how I look at it. Well, here's how I look at it on that point. Okay, Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko on his 25th fight, right?
Yeah.
Joshua's only just had 26 fights.
He's just had 26 fights, but Joshua first of all came into an era that was completely and utterly broken up because of Fury's win over Vladimir Klitschko. It was a much more kind of wild.
There was more options for sure.
There was more opportunities. He also got fast tracked because the division was so poor when he was rising up. I mean, Charles Martin was the fucking IBF champion for God's sake. Joseph Parker was the WBO champion. Never in the history of heavyweight championship fighting would you have such an easy route to the final. And as memory serves me right, Anthony Joshua did not have to fight for EBU or fight any final eliminators. Fury had to fight multiple final eliminators to get into the position that he got into. So that's my point there. It took Fury longer. He also got messed around by David Haye for fucking 2 years, 1.5 years. It's a very different rise, and let's not forget as well, AJ is much more marketable. He's a wet dream for the marketing team. You know, he's a good looking fella. He comes across well. Fury's the total opposite. Fury upsets a lot of people because he speaks his mind, and he's obviously from a bit of a he's a traveler, so travelers always going to get the rough end of the stick. He's not as marketable, so therefore he's not going to rise the ranks as quickly because the people with the money don't want him to. Again,
so for AJ to get the credit, would you give Anthony Joshua the credit if he fought and defeated Fury? Is that the only way?
The only way Anthony Joshua can get credit from someone like me would be either to beat Wilder, to beat Fury. White, if he was to beat White now, I would give him a bit of credit. I wouldn't give him as much credit, obviously, if he was to beat Fury or Wilder. But those are the fights he must make. And the back and forth, I hate this narrative that AJ ducked Wilder or Wilder ducked AJ. They both ducked each other. That's the truth of it. They both ducked each other. They both had offers on the table. They both rejected the offers. And the reason why they rejected the offers is because they saw the landscape of the heavyweight division and they thought, you know what, we are never, ever going to lose probably unless it's against each other because of how poor the landscape is. And Fury's out of the equation. We can build this fight up until 2020, 2021, 2022, and that'll be the career-defining fight. We'll both make 200 million each and blah, blah, blah. And that's what I believe. And I think Fury...
So do you give Wilder credit?
Say that again?
Do you give Wilder credit? Do you think that Wilder's been fighting better opponents than Anthony Joshua?
No, I think it's about similar. I don't like what Wilder did, and I don't like what Joshua did. It was very boring time to be a boxing fan, wasn't it?
So should Fury get massive credit for beating Wilder?
I believe the two wins that count right now would be Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. For Anthony Joshua, it would be Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And for Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Anything else, for me, it doesn't do it. I mean, Usyk will be a good win for AJ, but he's a small guy. He's looked terrible against Chaz Witherspoon, in my opinion. He looked small against Chisora. I had that 7-5 to Usyk. I don't believe Elite's nick a win against Chisora. That's just me. So I'm not really going to count that as a great win. when Anthony Joshua inevitably beats Usyk. And Pulev I don't rate as a good win either, because the man he's an old 39. He's not a young 39. He's been through many wars. His best win, in my opinion, today is Chisora, which again it's not a particularly great win, especially when he won. Chisora was not really at it. He beat Hughie Fury as well. I don't particularly rate Hughie Fury, so I don't put much stock in Pulev. Who else? Povetkin. He was 38. His best win to date when AJ beat him was Marco Huck, who's a small guy. There's many holes in this golden resume, I believe, that Anthony Joshua so-called has.
But the same thing can be said with Fury. I mean, if you look at Fury, I gave him a pass with the Seferi and Francisco Pianeta because he had been off for a long time. Very few people other than me gave him a pass on that. But with the Wilder...
Sorry if I can just interrupt you about the Seferi fights. Obviously, they were awful opponents, but nobody even thought Fury could come back after all the weight and the exile he had for 2-3 years. So even making it into the ring was a big success. But for me, that makes him even more impressive that he can beat two, you wouldn't even call them sparring partners, glorified spars, public spars, and then go in with Deontay Wilder, who at the time was the number one in the world. He was number one or number two, flip of a coin.
But again, you have to remember with Anthony Joshua, though, just go back to that point, a lot of his fights have been mandatories. He didn't get to choose them.
I believe he hid behind mandatories. That's just my opinion. I mean, we talked about John McDermott earlier on. Oh, John McDermott beat Fury. Well, in my opinion, Savan beat AJ in the first round of the Olympics, which I was at. And I believe Camarelli, I was not at that fight, but I watched it. I believe Camarelli beat AJ as well. So if we want to go back and talk about robberies, we can talk about that as well. I believe John McDermott won was a draw. That's just my opinion. I think people are very harsh on Fury because everyone talks about how good he is or how great he is. In actual fact, that's I know what a lot of people say that, which remains to be seen. Anyone in this area, if they're great or not. But let's talk about the Savan robbery and the Camarelli robbery as well. Let's be consistent.
No, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Look, I can agree with that, but I think
right now Fury is front runner to be best of this era. If AJ beats him and Wilder, AJ is the best of this era. It's that simple. But until he does it, we can't talk about AJ being the best of this era. And this resume is a complete and utter fallacy. We need to get beyond this fucking resume that he supposedly has. Top 10 wins in this era mean very, very little to real boxing fans because we know how weak this era is. It's a very, very top-heavy era. There's about 4 or 5 guys who are very, very good in this era, and the rest are pretty much all C-level, Chisora level fighters. Parker and Andy Ruiz they both had life and deaths with old Fury and Wilder relics.
Tyson Fury picked Parker to beat AJ, if you remember.
What?
Tyson picked Parker to beat AJ, if you remember. He bet any man £5,000 that Parker knocks out Anthony Joshua.
Well, I can remember that the referee in that fight was disgraceful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But it's a decent win. It should never have been a unification fight based on level. Parker should never have been champion. I actually had Ruiz beating Parker. I
agree with that.
In their fight when they had it. But again, these are two C-level fighters for me. They should never have been sniffing around a world championship. And I know Fury unlocked the gates, and that's why they became, because they were up the rankings and stuff like that. But it was never a unification bout, that's for sure. Shouldn't have been anyway. But again, AJ, for me, he probably would be a world champion if even if Fury didn't, because I'm sure over time Fury would have vacated or he would have lost the belt or whatever, and AJ would have came in and won one. But a lot of people like myself have serious problems with AJ being this so-called unified champion just by beating so-called top 10 opposition. That shouldn't make someone a champion. It should make someone a very good contender, which I believe he is, and he's on course, hopefully now, to fight the likes of Fury and Wilder and even White. I would like to see him fight White again. I think AJ still beats him, but I think it's a more competitive fight this time.
Okay. Well, all right then. I mean, just to finish off then, so do you think that Dillian Whyte beating Otto Wallin makes... Well, do you think that Otto Wallin is a good name on the resume for Dillian Whyte?
Say that you're static, mate. Can you say that again?
Do you think that if Dillian Whyte beats Otto Wallin, is that a good win?
It's a very good win. Yeah, I think Wallin will prove to be a very, very good win in the coming years, because even if he loses to White, I believe he can go on and I'm not saying he'll win a world championship, but I do think he's a very solid kind of top 6 guy. I think he beats a lot more. I think yeah, if he beats Wallin, especially if he beats him convincingly, it's a great win. Because he's a young guy, Wallin is. He's a big guy, and I really do rate him. Yeah, I would give White a lot of credit for that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
cool. Well, I will admit you come across much better than I thought you were going to do.
Listen, when you're on the comment sections, things can get a little bit heated, especially when Victor Bada and Wizard Sleeve are sniffing around. They are horrifically, they are the worst fanboys, I think, on YouTube, in my opinion. They're worse than a lot of the LDBC guys. And I've been on YouTube now. I'm not as steady a commenter as they are every single day, but I've watched the landscape of YouTube boxing for fucking years now, and I think they're on par with the LDBC. So just be careful of them. Well, that's all I will say to you.
Well, the easy solution for that, we'll sort out a live stream one day for you and them two guys to get on together then. What do you reckon?
No way. I'm telling you right now, there is no fucking way that they would ever get in a live stream. There's no chance. I promise you that. But if you can arrange that, I would be impressed.
All right, fair enough. Anyway, I appreciate your time. I'm going to let someone else jump on now.
No hassle, mate. You're not that
All right, take care.
No, I'm not that bad, am I?
Bye-bye.
Nice.
All right, so who are we going to bring on next? By the way, can everybody hear me okay? Because I was getting some static back on some of that. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. Let's add Jake. I think Jake's been here the longest. Jake, sorry to keep you waiting, my man.
No problem, Spot Icon. Can you hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you? I'm good.
I'm good, thanks very much. So are you a pro Tyson AJ hater or a boxing fan or what?
So I didn't come on the channel, mate, to argue with you. I actually quite agree with a lot of things you say. The issue is that I was one of these people in 2015, 2014 where, the things Tyson Fury did, it annoyed everyone. And obviously the story, the background, and then what he did when he came back, I completely turned around. I was a huge fan. But even now, as being a Tyson Fury fan, it's too much now. Like, it's the inactivity, being, no fights in 18 months, constantly keeping the belt hostage. And, that links in with Wilder as well, because Wilder had that belt for 4 years. And as you say, I agree a lot of things you say as well, where, he says one thing, and then the next minute it's just completely... He says the opposite, and the Gary Neville interview with me, it was good to see it, but again, it's just too many things just don't happen, and again, he says it's just you don't know what he's going to say next.
Definitely. So basically, you're a Tyson Fury fan, but you've had enough of a lot of the waffle.
Yeah, I'm a fan, and I would never, even if he fought AJ, if that fight ever does happen, I would always back Tyson Fury win, and I would always want him to do it. But again, it's just the frustration now of the fight's not happening. He came out the other day, I think, was it when he was with Frank Warren and they did the interview on BT, and then he named his 5 fights, and you're sitting thinking, people really expect he's going to fight Wilder, AJ twice. Sorry, Wilder, White, AJ twice, and then Derek Chisora. People really believed it was going to happen. And then he's saying to Gary Neville 2 days ago that he's going to have 3 fights. And then he says, we'll try and fight AJ next. It's like, what happened to the fight with Dillian Whyte in December?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let me ask you the question that I seem to be getting asked quite a lot. Do you think Tyson Fury is bipolar?
I would never want to comment on that, you know what I mean? Because obviously that is quite personal for him. Even if he was I don't know if he's bipolar or not. I don't know if it's an act or not. Or sometimes when he says one thing or says another. But I think it's sometimes to do with that. He'll say something so ridiculous that he tries to contradict himself because, people will pull him up on it. But bipolar, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. So do you think that Tyson Fury either is the best of this era or he still has to prove it?
Again, okay, so don't get me wrong, okay. With resumes compared to AJ, I always think AJ has a better list of fighters. That's definitely a fact. I think Fury, you can't argue, probably has the two better names, and I think the win against Dusseldorf against Klitschko was more impressive or looks better. But then the other thing you fact is, if you take away Wild and Klitschko on his record, who else is on that resume? Kazora, Christian Hammer. I think he can be, but I think for that to happen, we need to get the AJ fight, and I think it's a shame for AJ as well because he can't get that big fight because obviously the big fight for him to make is Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. So I think he can be, but then again, I think if Joshua manages to beat Usyk on Saturday, I think there has to be some debate now about who's number one because that win on Saturday again is just another historic one on his CV.
You sound like a true boxing fan, man.
I am, but I'll be honest with you. It's just because I know you go for the rankings quite a lot, and I do like it when you do that. It's so frustrating when you look at especially, let's talk about the heavyweights. If you look at the heavyweight rankings, it's so frustrating because you've got people there like Trevor Bryan, number one. You've got Joe Joyce, number one. You've got Daniel Dubois, who's apparently could possibly be mandatory in the next couple of months once they do the rankings. You've even had Manuel Shaw, who was technically sort of mandatory, whatever that belt was, from the WBO. And it's like, if you go on Botsrec with Trevor Bryan and you see some of his records, he's beaten people who have lost 25 fights. And it's like, how are these number one? It's just, it's crazy.
It's boxing politics. And I think that's what turns a lot of people off and over to the UFC.
It is. And it's the only... again, when you're watching the Tyson Fury interview the other day with Gary Neville, he's trying to explain to him about, how hard it is to make these fights. And about, if you lose once or lose twice, then people, the stock kind of goes down. And then I was trying to have a conversation with someone the other day, and I was basically saying, if you look at tennis, for example, you've got the three greatest tennis players of all time. And easily they've all lost 15, 20 times between them all. And no one ever talks about these defeats. And just within boxing, it just seems like, even now, especially in the heavyweight, to make not even a mega fight or even a good fight, an average fight just seems impossible at the minute. When they're talking about Charles Martin and Dillian White making a fight, and apparently, is it going to be difficult to make? It's like, why is a fight like that difficult to make?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's your promotional networks that make it impossible. They don't want to work with each other.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing about it. Unfortunately, I think what they need is one umbrella. Yeah. If that makes sense. I don't really care who runs it, just as long as everybody can fight everybody. So we get our one true champion. And then that one true champion doesn't get to cherry pick who he fights. They get told who to fight each and every fight.
Exactly. And I agree with some of the stuff you've said that when I've listened to your videos in the past, where it's like, you'd actually love one of the governing bodies to come and actually explain, okay, how is Trevor Bryan ranked number one? Okay, well, here's why he's ranked number one. And then actually explain to someone why he's ranked number one. But then again, there's, for example, okay, I know you're a big Dillian White fan, but again, that is an actual number one rank because, he has been through Joseph Parker, former world champion. He did go through Lucas Brown, who was top 10 in the WBC at the time, knowing how good he was. Obviously, Oscar Rivas, he's got names on the resume, which you can make a debate. Okay, he is number one. But then the other ones, you're then thinking, well, how are they ranked number one? It's insane. And, promoters keep saying every year, oh, it needs to get better, it needs to change, there needs to be less belts, we need to make the big fights, and it's getting worse. And this is why the Paul brothers are taking over. It's not their fault, it's because there's a market there that needs to be filled. And unfortunately, it's not getting filled because people are just losing interest because the big fights just aren't happening.
Yeah. I totally agree. And hopefully things change over the next couple of years, hopefully. but I'm not going to hold my breath on it, and I'm sure you ain't either.
No, I hope so, mate. Like I said, something same as you. It's like, huge boxing fan, love the sport. Anytime there's a big fight coming up, like Usyk and Josh, you can just get that feeling, how excited you get for it. But unfortunately, there's going to come a time, I could be wrong, there could become a time where, unfortunately, it's too late to go back. That maybe this is going to be the norm now, about, when you've got 50-year-old boxers coming out of retirement, YouTubers. You've got Logan Paul now, headlining and, getting interviewed on Sky Sports. It's
Isn't it worried that Jake Paul is pretty much the face of boxing at the minute? Oh, you gone? Oh, I think his phone died. Jake, you're welcome back, my man. Okay, let's get on to the next one. Tyson Fury fan. Big up. You're live. Hello? Nope. Tyson Fury fan's gone. All right. Lee.
Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can hear you now. Hello?
Well, man. Big up yourself, man, first and foremost, because you know what? You chat a lot of true shoes, boy, and icons, man.
Oh, big up, Lee. I'm sorry to keep you waiting all that time.
No worries, brother. I'm chilling, man. I'm not doing much, man. How are you anyway? You good?
I'm good, man. Where's that accent from?
Leeds.
Leeds. Big up, Leeds. You guys put on a fantastic show.
Yeah. You don't know. You know how we get down, innit?
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm not a Leeds United fan, but, man, I love the atmosphere at Ellen Road.
Yeah, no. Leeds, when anyone comes to Leeds, yeah, it's a different mentality. Like, we support our people and we get behind them 100%. So, yeah, we always bring that crowd support, yeah, definitely every time.
Yeah. So, are you like a big boxing fan?
Yeah. Even more in recent years. I've always been a boxing fan from like the 90s golden era. But like I'm just getting into it even more these days, yeah. Especially with all the YouTube channels like giving you information, and it's getting bigger and better, isn't it? Like, obviously it's not perfect, but no, I'm definitely a boxing fan. It's my favorite sport. Like, I put it above football, to be honest, because it's a man's sport, innit? Combat sport. It's boxing, innit?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. 1 second, everyone. I just need to mute.
Still there?
I'm really sorry about that. That was bad time. And my wife was calling me from the airport.
No worries. You got to deal with family first, man. Don't worry about it.
No, she's just picking up a friend from the airport. That's all.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay, so who's like your favourite boxer of this particular era then?
Of this era? Yeah, it's probably out of age. Heavyweights or altogether.
Anyone?
Probably Bud, AJ. Yeah.
Looking forward to Bud's fight with Sean Porter.
Yeah, definitely, man. That should be a banger. If Bud, like, if he knocks out Porter, which is going to be a very hard task, because let's be honest, no one's done it like that, and he does it, or even if he does a better job than Spence, then that's going to shut up a few of the PBC fanboys, and it's going to just his stock's going to go even higher, and it's going to be an even better fight. Hopefully, if Spence comes back, God willing, that eye injury and like a career-threatening injury, because that would be a big fight if he deals with him a lot better, because everyone knows like Porter's is not easy, and it don't go down. It is not an easy fight for anyone.
Oh, tell me about it. I do think that Porter was quite unlucky against Spence.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly, I think with that fight, I think it was the knockdown that was the difference, to be honest. I thought it was a close fight. It was a dog fight, and that's what Porter does. It makes it a dog fight. It makes it hard. It makes you work for it.
Yeah, definitely. And you say that Anthony Joshua is your favourite heavyweight, yeah?
Between him and AJ, my favourite heavyweights in the moment. Don't get me wrong, I like Fury, and I did like Wilder until he started like until he started chatting the world of, hoop, and he started digging into his resume a bit more. But yeah, like AJ and White are my guys, man.
Yeah. Ah, that's cool, man. Cool. So you like Dillian White, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's my guy, man. My guy.
Yeah. Did you get to go see much boxing live?
Do you know what? Yeah, just due to like stuff going on, like I'm not actually like I wanted to go to the lead show, but just I'm not got around to it yet. But I'm definitely looking to do it soon, man. Especially with all, with all the COVID stuff winding down and that. Yeah, I'm definitely looking to do something soon. Head to the next show that's like up north or local around here.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Is there another show coming up to you guys? I know that Dennis Hobson, he puts on like a lot of shows in like Sheffield area, didn't he?
Yeah. There's a few small hall shows. There's a couple that happen in like Ellen Road. My boy is fighting on one soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a couple like the small ones that happen. It was one like last night actually in local somewhere. I can't remember where it was now, but there's a few up and coming little shows where you get to see like the grassroots guys coming up and through, and hopefully like they'll progress one day. But yeah, there's a few like we're invested like up north is invested in boxing definitely, man. Well, as you know, like Sheffield's like sort of the UK mecca of boxing. So like Yorkshire's definitely like it's there with the boxing.
Yeah, definitely with the days of Prince Nassim and all those kind of guys. Of course, Kell Brook. I mean, hopefully Kell Brook gets that one last hurrah against Amir Khan and just gets that fight over with. What do you reckon?
Yeah, do you know what? Obviously, it's not what it was. Definitely not. But I think especially for the Northern fans and just the general boxing fans and the general public, it'll be a big one because there's still two big names that everyone knows. So I'd still watch that and I'd still enjoy it. I'd definitely watch that, man. And hopefully it'll be a good fight. I honestly couldn't tell you what would happen in that because both of them have not been that active and they're a bit getting on. So it's kind of a 50-50, I still think, yeah.
And how do you think AJ will get on with Usyk?
I hope he deals with him. I hope he knocks him out. I'm not stupid though. Usyk is a finely tuned machine. Like like with Usyk, you have to watch his fights like over a few times. Like when he fought Bellew, I watched that fight live, and I didn't get it. But then I watched it about 3-4 times after, and I was like, you know what, this guy is amazing. Like the way his footwork moves and just like how he just dips it in and out, and like it keeps your mind going, doesn't it? Like he's got that sort of presence where it's like he keeps you on. He's mentally draining as well as physically. Like he moves a lot. His feet work's amazing. So like, yeah, no, I don't think it'll be an easy night work. It could be troublesome for AJ, but I do think AJ's got the power and the skill set to still just deal with him and hopefully knock him out. I'd prefer to see him knock him out than go the distance.
I agree with everything you just said right there. And hopefully Fury comes through his fight and then we get to see Fury versus White or Fury versus AJ.
Hopefully. I mean, even if Wilder knocks out Fury, like they've spoke about a 4th and 5th fight a few times. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually went and fought him again for the 4th time. Hopefully not. But even if Fury gets knocked out, I think AJ Wilder would still be a big fight. But you know what it is with Fury? Like I was saying in the chat earlier, like, and I've watched a load of your videos. I've been like subscribed to you for well over a year now. I've been. I think you chat a lot of sense. It contradicts so much, like it makes so much contradictions. You could make bloody hour-long video on his lies and contradictions. The guy says one thing and then the other. It's like, come on now, man, make up your mind. It's like you can't believe anything the guy says, and it's like the thing is, I like Fury still, and I think he's a great boxer, and I'm still a British fan, and he's a British boxer, so I still rate him. I'm still waiting to deal with Wilder because Wilder's after all that Glovegate nonsense, he just needs to be shutted up with his like, I want to be pregnant, dancing ass, like get out of here, man. And I like that. I used to like him a lot. I used to like Wilder, but the guy he just fell off, man, and he just put himself in a predicament by chatting so much rubbish, man. And yeah, man, like yeah. So like, hopefully, both of them will come through and we'll get the AJ Fury fight. But you know what? If it goes the other way, like if Wilder wins, I wouldn't be mad at that fight either. I think it's still a big fight, especially if Wilder like does a Brazil on him and like like just ravages him in like maybe not one round, but if he knocks him out like disgustingly in like the early rounds, then that's the big fight, AJ and Wilder still.
It is. I mean, as much as I'm giving Tyson Fury stick lately, I'll be absolutely gutted if he did that to Fury. We just Braziled him.
Yeah, yeah. I'd still prefer the AJ Fury. I feel like that would be the better one. Obviously, it's the because obviously like he's a better boxer overall, and obviously for the British fans, it would be the better one to have. But for Sophie Fury, like he as I said, he chats a lot and he makes so much contradictions. Like for example, he was saying how he was going to have this 5-fight deal, then he's going to have a 3 fights, and then he's gone. And then he says like on that was it overlap with Gary Neville? It was saying how he's gonna AJ knew that he couldn't do the fight because he had the arbitration going on, but at the same time he put out a video saying, I spoke to the Prince of Saudi, the fight's on, let's get it. And it's like, wait, but you just said that they knew that the arbitration was going on, so it wasn't going to happen. So why would you put out a video saying, I spoke to the Prince and it's on? He chats rubbish, man. It's funny, man. It's annoying.
Why encourage Eddie Hearn to do all that legwork and waste his time?
Exactly. And when Gary asked him a question about when AJ goes, look, our team put the deal together, we went out and got the deal, got all the money. And when Gary said, he said that to him, and he didn't even reply and said, yeah, it's true. Like he just didn't answer the question. That his team didn't put together the deal. His team didn't go out to Saudi and go speak to the Prince and get it all sorted and get the big boy payday. And then he comes out saying, AJ don't win it. It's just like, come on, man. Like, seriously, man. I think you really need the next video you need to do is, just put a video up of, like, points he's made and points he's contradicted himself on, because it's getting a bit crazy, man.
I don't think anybody will watch that 3-hour video.
Break it down. You can do a series, bro.
Make a playlist. All right, Lee. Listen, man, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, big up every time, man. Big up every time. Take care, yeah? In a bit.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Peace.
Peace. All right, get next one on. We've got quite a few here, so here we go. We got Abdullah. Is that right? Abdullah, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Is that Abdullah?
I'm kidding. I don't have a British accent.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I just.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now when you speak. Yes.
Yeah. So I was saying that Tyson Fury is just the best of this era.
Okay. Why? I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm asking why.
He just destroyed Klitschko. He destroyed Wilder.
So do you think Wilder's good?
I think Wilder is I think he's good, but I think the Tyson Fury is just a little bit better.
Do you think Tyson Fury is as good now as he was when he fought Klitschko, or do you think he still needs to get to that point?
I think he is. He's better right now than when he fought Klitschko. But
do you think?
I think he's not in terms of like resume.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joshua and him are like close, but like maybe Joshua's a bit better.
Okay, so you think that if Fury fought Joshua, that Fury would beat Joshua?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think, it would be, but I don't think there would be a knockout. I don't think.
No. Okay, and do you think Fury beats Wilder again?
Yeah.
You do.
He's gonna beat that twerk person.
And is there anybody out there who you think could beat Fury?
I'm not sure. I don't think.
No?
Probably not right now, but there's a lot of fighters from a long time ago that could easily.
Okay, some prospects coming through might get him in a couple of years.
I don't know. No, I was saying that people from other eras might have been able to easily.
Okay. So you think that Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight ever?
No, not at all.
Okay. Just of this era?
No, I think he's the best of all time.
You think he's the best of all time? No, you don't.
I'm kidding. No, he's not. I think Muhammad Ali could beat him. I think Lennox Lewis could beat him.
Oh, go on.
I think Lennox Lewis versus Tyson Fury would probably be a really exciting fight. But I think Lennox Lewis would knock him out.
He'll probably figure out Tyson Fury, yeah.
Yeah.
No, cool.
For me, I think people are fighters are slightly maybe getting a little bit worse.
Maybe. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add? You want to shout out your social media account or anything like that?
Dylan White.
Yeah.
He's the worst fighter, literally ever.
He's what?
He's the worst fighter.
Okay, so you're just trolling me now, yeah? Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, have a great evening.
Dylan White is literally garbage. Like, who did he beat?
Okay, so that was literally just to troll me, I think. Okay, we've got another one. Tyson Fury fan. Tyson Fury fan, welcome in. Hope you're good. Do you hear me? Nope. Tyson Fury fan went. Hiam.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, hope you're good. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, that's what's up. All right.
How you doing, my man?
I'm in New York.
New York. Oh, big up. My wife wants to go there.
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn. I'm Brooklyn and Harlem. I'm back and forth.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my wife was actually telling me yesterday that she wants to spend Christmas over in New York. She's been watching like a lot of Home Alone.
She want to go to the Plaza Hotel.
Well, I ain't paying for that.
Yeah, it's like $4,000 a night.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, unfortunately, we don't really get the kind of snow over here at Christmas that we used to get, but in New York, you do. So she wants a snowy Christmas, you know?
Yeah, I know how it is. It's across the street from the Apple store. They got a new Apple store right across the street from the Plaza Hotel.
Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, anyway, so you're a big boxing fan, yeah?
Huge boxing fan. I've been watching boxing since I was 6 years old. I'm 40. I've been subscribed to your channel for like over 2 years, I believe, maybe over 3 years. I've been rocking with you for a long time. Like I gotta give respect to you, your family, your son, everything.
I appreciate
I've been hearing you for years, man. I've been watching you and listening to you for years. I never really call in or do anything like that, so it's cool that you did a live, so I can actually call in. I wanted to say that Wilder, we give Wilder a lot of respect, but he doesn't deserve the respect. He's exactly like Luis Ortiz. Like when you look at Luis Ortiz, you wonder what's his biggest win. Who did he fight? His biggest win is Brian Jennings. He really didn't. Luis Ortiz didn't do anything, and neither did Wilder. I know the Fury fans want to give Wilder this tremendous respect, but who did he really fight? Before fighting Fury, who did he fight? I remember, I've been watching Wilder for years. I remember how he got the title. He got the title by fighting Jason Gavin in an outside arena. And that's how he got the title shot. Like I know the history. Like I actually been here watching him for years. He fought Bermane Stiverne, and that, if you go and look at that fight, that's the fight where Wilder actually shows boxing skills. He actually moves around behind a jab and stuff. Wilder's not that good. I know we want to give Fury all of this respect, but in reality, his biggest win being really Wilder. Klitschko, we'll talk about that, but his biggest win really being Wilder is not a huge win. Wilder didn't really do anything. In his entire career, he didn't do anything. All right, the knockout to Dominic Brazil was amazing and everything, but Wilder really didn't do anything. And it's not being a hater. It's just telling the truth. Wilder got 40-some-odd fights, 42-odd fights, and he fought nobody and did nothing. Like, nobody wants to admit the truth. Like, he really didn't do anything. Spoka and, like, what's he done? The other guy that you were talking to before, he was, like, trying to downgrade AJ's wins. But AJ's fighting top 10 fighters. Every single fight, he's fighting a top 10 fighter. And people don't realize that Parker's the 4th youngest heavyweight champion in history. Like, they don't realize that. It's Mike Tyson, Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, and then there's Joseph Parker. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't know who Joseph Parker actually is. I know. I'm a fanatic of the sport. I'm not a fanboy, but I'm a fanatic when it comes to boxing. That's all I do is study boxing. All I do is watch boxing all day long. Um, like they got to give AJ a little bit. They got to put a little bit more respect on AJ's name, man. He's a solid fighter, throwback fighter that's fighting top tier competition every single fight consistently. There's nothing consistent about Fury instead of like except inconsistency. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. Wilder, he ducked AJ. Don't they talking about they ducked each other? No. Wilder got offer after offer after offer. He turned down $100 million not to fight this man. Wilder, Wilder's life changed. I think it was April 29th, right? April 29th. I think Wilder's entire life changed when he saw that crowd at Wembley. When he saw Klitschko and AJ fight, Wilder's entire life changed. He realized what he was not, and he tried to come. And I'm a big, tall black guy. I'm American. I'm supposed to support Wilder. Man, BS. BS is BS, man. Wilder's a fraud, man. He's always been a fraud.
So all the American channels, I mean, I don't watch any of them anymore, but
Yeah, those
I need to.
LDBC clowns. Those
Right,
guys
okay.
are clowns, man. Those guys are
Yeah.
clowns. Wilder did not do the real work that AJ did. He didn't do the real work. He never even fought Charles Martin. Charles Martin was on his side of the street. What happened? Why you didn't fight Charles Martin? You didn't fight David Haye. You didn't fight Vitaly Klitschko. You didn't fight Vladimir Klitschko. You didn't fight anybody.
Yeah.
You know how many? Seriously, do you know how many boxers I can name that have attempted to unify or unified while Wilder was champion? You know how long that list is? It's ridiculous. And Wilder has not done anything that whole time. He was champion before all of them, before Keith Thurman, before everybody. Wilder was a champion. And he didn't do anything with his entire time. And then when he went to England and saw Wembley and saw the crowd, then all of a sudden he tried to wake up. And then he still was ducking and dodging even after that. Like, I don't got no respect for Wilder, man. Wilder, man, please, man. I can't with him, man.
So all these channels that have been supporting Wilder, do you think that if Anthony Joshua was American, that they would not be speaking about Wilder, but putting AJ up the way
Yes,
they put Wilder?
Yes, definitely. If AJ was American, they would have a field day telling you about AJ and how great he is and how great his resume is and everything. But they trying to hate on AJ because he's from England. It don't matter. I liked AJ from the first time I saw him. The first time I saw AJ, I said, "Oh, this guy's mad big, but he's fast and he's actually pretty good." But his hand speed stuck out to me. I was like, "Damn, this guy's real fast." and I watched the Charles Martin fight, and that was just like, "Whoa, wait a minute, this guy's real fast." And I like AJ. I like how he carries himself and all of that stuff too. But that's not boxing. I'm talking about just straight boxing. I actually like what I see from the guy. The guy's solid, and he fights everybody. He's fighting anybody they put in front of him, and they put in top competition in front of him, and he's fighting them, top opposition, and he's fighting them, and he's knocking most of them out. Like, I don't know how you cannot like AJ. When it comes to Fury, I do like Fury. I got a lot of respect for Fury from the Dusseldorf win. But I will say one thing, and this is what your other caller didn't say, but we all know it, that what I'm about to say, we all know that it's true. Tyson Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko on Vladimir Klitschko's off night. But Tyson Fury made it an off night. Don't get me wrong. Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko, and Tyson Fury made it an off night, but it was still an off night. If there would have been a rematch, I think Klitschko would have knocked him out. I think Klitschko would have cleaned his clock completely. But the Klitschko that fought AJ was a better version of Klitschko. That was Klitschko like ready on his last moment. That was the real Klitschko at 40 whatever years old. That was the real Klitschko for that moment. That night, Klitschko had no plans on losing that fight. I think maybe Vitaly kind of messed up that night for him. by telling him to calm down and chill out. Maybe he did, because Anthony Joshua was for the taking that night. But
It was.
but AJ stood up and took his title. We never seen Tyson Fury stand up and take the title except from Wilder. And Wilder, once again, like, how good is Wilder? He's very good and very prolific at throwing the right hand. I do give a lot of respect to Wilder only because his right hand is serious and he's prolific at landing it. He every single fight he's ever been in, he's landed that right hand. Every single fight. Even with the second fight against Fury, the first and second round, he landed that right hand. He's good at landing that right.
Yeah, he is. He is. And as limited as Wilder is, it does take a certain skill to land that punch, if we're being honest. Oh, you still there? You've gone quiet, my man. Liam? I don't know if it's... Oh, I think I can hear you again.
Okay, yeah. Somebody tried to call in.
All right, fair enough.
He is very good at landing that right hand, but the secret to Wilder, a lot of people don't realize it because they don't study boxing like people like us do. But Wilder steps towards you and lands that right hand. If you're stepping away from him, you can survive it. If he steps towards you and you're stationary and he lands that right hand, it's good night for anybody. That's for anybody. Fury kept moving, even in the second fight when Wilder landed the right hand. He landed the right hand 2 times, first round and second round. Fury was smart enough to step away from the right hand, and that's how he survived it. I give Fury his respect. I think he's a great champion. He's completely inconsistent. There's a lot of foolishness with Fury, but in the ring on the night, Fury is a problem. I will admit that. I'm not trying to go against Fury. I like Fury, but I think there's something fraudulent about Fury, as far as I don't think he could beat anybody twice, besides obviously Chisora. But I don't think he could beat anybody twice. I think if you lose to Fury the first time, you'll beat him next time, because it's all parlor tricks. It's not actual ability. Fury's not that good. He's good the first time you see him. If you never fought him before, he's good and he'll beat you. But the second time around, you'll destroy him. That's what I think about Fury. I think he's a parlor trick guy. He's a guy that got a bunch of tricks and a bunch of it's skill. I'm not going to say it's not skill, but it's skill that you could overcome if you knew what was going to happen ahead of time. I think if Vladimir would have fought him the second time, he would have destroyed Vladimir. The Wilder fight, he came in with a completely different game plan because he saw it in the 12th round against Wilder the first fight. So he knew that if he pressed Wilder, he could beat Wilder. Wilder was just never that good. People got caught up in the Wilder hype because of the right hand, but he was never really that good. He just wasn't. He was like a fraud, man. I'm sorry. Like, everybody so hyped up over Wilder. Like, Wilder's not really that good. He's a boxer that if you stand still and he steps towards you, he could hit you with a right hand that is amazing. He got an Ernie Shavers right hand. I think Ernie Shavers is the hardest single puncher in heavyweight history. Is Ernie Shavers. As far as one punch, just one punch, hit you, knock you out, one punch. Ernie Shavers is that guy. I think that's what Wilder is. But a lot of people got past Ernie Shavers, and a lot of people get past Wilder. You got to respect the sport. The sport is a sport where you're not going to live at the elite level with one weapon. That's not going to happen. Right now, to me, AJ is the number one heavyweight on the planet because he has the most weapons. If you really look at AJ's weaponry, his armory is crazy. He has everything. He can hit you with anything. He's doing pull counters in the ring. I mean, the guy has everything. He got power in both hands. If he fights Fury, I think he knocks Fury out. I think he destroys Wilder. But you asked me a question. I've been blabbering on.
That's okay. I'm just going to end this one with this one because I totally agree with this comment, which is, do you have your own YouTube channel? If not, my bet you should have one because you sound real good.
Thank you. I had one years and years ago, before Mayweather Pacquiao. I had a channel years ago. I don't really mess around no more. But I will give you an amazing prediction, something that nobody else wants to say, but I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I think Terrence Crawford wins, not by KO, not by TKO, by way of Kenny Porter stoppage.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad one, right? That one's rough.
Well, anybody hearing this, put like a couple of bucks on it. Cash in.
That's a bad prediction. That
is a bad prediction. Damn.
Yeah.
Even I wouldn't say something like that.
I'm a complete Bud fan. I love Terrence Crawford. If it wasn't for Canelo's amazing resume and what Canelo is doing, Terrence Crawford is my number one fighter in the world. Terrence Crawford is my number one fighter in the world. But Canelo, you got to give Canelo his credit, because what he's doing is just amazing right now. What can you say? Canelo is amazing, man.
I like that. All right, Ham. So I appreciate you calling. Thanks very much for your support. And think about reopening the YouTube channel.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, but you take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was a good guess, wasn't it? Next up, Jack Gladman.
Yeah,
man.
Firstly, I hope that guy doesn't ever have any contacts in boxing, or I'm out of a job. Yeah.
How are you, man?
Yeah, not bad. You know,
Yeah.
making fights is stressful as hell, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but boxers and managers are fun to deal with. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one thing that I wanted to ask you before, because you're a matchmaker. So anybody in the chat who doesn't know who you are, you're a matchmaker now. You work with the British Box Board of Control. Woo. But you do matchmake now.
Yeah.
You're a sportsman as well, right? You run?
Yeah, I'm a para athlete for Great Britain, but I'm actually injured at the moment.
Right.
I've got an injured back, but I was in the 2017 World Para Athletics Championships.
Wow.
In London. So yes, it was quite cool, because it's kind of weird to have 35,000 people scream your name, and you probably know about like 100 of them, if that.
Right.
It's a strange environment.
You chewing on something? I can hear some crackling.
Oh no! See, I've been getting this all night, and I thought it was your end, but it's
No.
Oh, okay. So that means my Wi-Fi's gone to hell again.
Is it Wi-Fi or is it microphone? Are you using your phone?
I'm just using my phone. Yeah.
Okay, maybe you got your finger on the microphone bit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, hang on.
Or just use earphones.
I've just figured it out. Is that better?
Maybe. Well, we'll continue anyway.
Yeah, but as I say, like, some of the stuff that goes on in boxing, people who watch your channel wouldn't believe. Like, especially lower down, like some of the stuff that goes on and how hard it actually is to make fights. Yeah. I'd imagine it's probably harder higher up, easier higher up in a way, because at least you know who you're going after. We don't necessarily know, because we have a first, a fourth, a second, a fourth, a fifth. We could be on a sixth choice of opponent. We're never going to tell you that, but we could be. I mean, with prospects, in fact, you probably do know that, because you've been around Stephen Robinson. You know the odds of you getting your first choice are slim to nil if the guy's any good.
Yeah.
If the guy's any good, he ain't getting the first choice. You ain't getting the first guy you phone up about, because there's no way that they're going to take that.
Well, let's put your feet on the fire in front of everybody here then. So when people complain about some of the prospects and some of the opponents, rather than shout at the promoters, they need to be shouting at you, don't they? Because you're the matchmaker.
Oh, for God's sake, the promoters already shout at us about it. I'm all right, because Pat's quite nice to me about it because he knows I'm new to it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard horror stories about matchmakers just getting their heads done in by promoters. Like, why did you give me this guy? I sort of have a weird, and we do it. It's a sort of standing joke between me and one of my friends who's a big boxing fan, comes with me to shows.
Yeah.
When I go to matchroom shows and big shows like that, and he comes. Our standing joke is, don't bring in any random Mexicans, because unless you know who these Mexicans are, and then you do not bring them in, because for some strange reason, if they've had 26 fights in Mexico and won about 6 of them, the 6 ones they've won will have been against guys who are way above journeyman level. It's one of the craziest things, but like, yeah, basically shout at me, but not personally at me, because shout at
social media,
guys. He's on more money.
All right, man. Yeah. Anyway, so you're from the Northeast, like I am.
Yeah.
Where's your accent?
So I'm originally from Stevenage in Hertfordshire, but my dad's from the Northeast. So he moved down when he was 14. Met my mum. My mum's Scottish. Yeah, I'm a mongrel. Literally, I don't belong anywhere. But then I moved back. They moved back up to North Yorkshire when they retired. Both retired from work. I took a job working as a teaching assistant in a school in near where I am. Actually, I'm not going to say that out on a stream because otherwise I'll get people turn up at a thing. But I work in the Northeast. Bought my house up here, and then obviously you know where I'm based. So I'm based in the Northeast now, and then just randomly. But then the promoter I work for, which I think is in this chat somewhere, and I think I've said, but is based in the Northwest. So, but then is doing shows sometimes in the Northeast, so sometimes in the Northwest. So it's interesting. I get to go a bit of everywhere.
No, that's good. Well, I mean, if you get to do any of the Sky shows with like Stephen Robinson and George O'Connor, April Hunter, Lewis Ritson, like my friends, anything, give me a shout first. Clear it with me before you take it to Ben Shalom on that, will you?
I was chatting to Stephen when we were up in thing about that. He was like, "Are you making?"
Rating.
He said, "You're not working for Sky, are you?" I was like, "No, I'm not." And he went, "Oh, shame actually, because I was going to ask you." Because at the time, I don't think he knows. I think he does now know who he's fighting, but I didn't think at the time he didn't. He just went to me, because it'd be nice to know who I'm fighting. I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I can't tell you."
No, I spoke to him a couple of hours ago. He still doesn't know.
Oh, still doesn't know. Brilliant. Because I asked him that, and he went, "Thought you were doing it." I was like, "No, I'm not doing it." That's a problem.
No. I mean, I imagine it'll be a journeyman or something, because obviously he's been out of the ring for like 18 months due to COVID and everything. So,
I mean, we've got guys on our shows where we're matching them, and we're matching them. I mean, there's MTK guys. I think it's up on BoxRec. There's an MTK guy on our show that he's fighting an opponent below where he would be because he's been out the ring.
Right.
In fact, I'll tell you who's on the show. I can't tell you who he's fighting, obviously, just in case it doesn't happen. But Jack Rafferty is on that show.
Okay. Yeah. I know what show you're talking about.
Ring a little while.
Is he a Rating Meadows one? Yeah.
He's on the Rating Meadows one. Yeah.
Why is it that Pat Barrett's got no Northeast fighters on that card?
You'd have to ask him that. I just get given the fighters to match,
right?
And he's helping me match them. But like, it's his fighters. I don't think he has anyone from the Northeast.
I don't know actually. Good point.
All right, I don't know unless he has someone that I don't know about. But I mean, when he signs guys, and then I'm just learning now who he has and who he doesn't, and who he's got on promotional deals, who he's got on managerial deals. Because I mean, some of the fighters we have at the moment, like, and sometimes MTK randomly come to you and say, "Can you put this guy on the show?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just because they have a decent working relationship with Pat or what, but
maybe
how all that works. But I mean, I've been talking to people within MTK. You deal with them, and they're easy to deal with. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
that's probably getting a load of hate in the chat for that, but they are
No.
easy to deal with.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, they've all been easy. And to be honest, I've not run into anyone that's particularly difficult to deal with.
Mhm.
But I don't
You
know.
will.
Oh no, 100%. I guarantee I will. But I think that's maybe because Pat's helping me out, and he might deal with the ones that have been dealing with the ones that are more difficult to deal with, just so not to put me off.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just always careful what I say, because you don't burn bridges in this job.
Yeah.
You don't burn bridges. It's
Well, I mean,
why
I've burnt a
even when
few.
I want to bite back at people, sometimes I'm just like, right, just in case I ever have to work with you, I'm not gonna, like, I won't slag off someone if I know, even if I look at a fight and think, why has that been made? I won't say it, like, publicly. I might say it to you, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna come out on Twitter and go, well, that was a terrible decision, like, just because I ever have to make them. Because if you have to work with these guys, you think. But
Of course.
it is quite funny because, like, and this is going to be name dropping. It is, and you'll know this where you've got them in your phone. When you look at your phone sometimes, and you've got like for me, it's more managers and trainers, but you have like Dom Ingle or someone in your phone, and you're like I'm never going to need this, but it's quite cool to have it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got like a load of people in boxing on my phone and my WhatsApp and that, and I tend to get like a lot of dick pics and that from them. It's kind of weird.
That I can kind of. But the strangest one I've had is like somebody phoned me the other day because they were trying to phone somebody with a similar name, and I was just like, and they phoned me, and I'm like, oh, I don't really know you. I've just got your number through Pat. Like, just phoned me up, and I was just like, oh, who's this?
Fair enough. All right, and Jack, I appreciate your call, and I'm sure I'll probably see you in a couple of weeks. You know where and when.
Oh yeah.
All right. And I mean, I'll speak to you on social media anyway. So
yeah, I mean, we know. But yeah, I'm probably going to go to bed because I actually have to go and do my normal job tomorrow morning. I've got to deal with kids as opposed to boxing.
yay!
I don't know which one's harder to deal with, to be honest. I'll figure that out at some point.
Managers or kids?
Yeah,
got to be managers.
yeah, probably. All
right, my man. I appreciate your time, Jack.
Yeah, I thought you'd want someone who's. I thought I'll jump in because I thought the amount of questions you probably get asked in the comments about who the heck is this guy and why do you always big him up when he turns up?
British Boxing Board of Control.
Yeah, don't
matchmaker.
Yeah, don't imply I work for the board, otherwise I'm going to start getting hate for that as well.
Yeah, he's got a blue tick on social media as well. Just get that in there.
Oh yeah, you noticed that as well. Then yeah, that's I think for being an athlete. I don't think that's anything to do with. My mate said I've not made it though till I make it onto famous what was it? I said I've not made it until I make it onto famous birthdays. Apparently,
on famous birthdays. Oh, I see.
I'm not on one of them yet.
No.
Well, apparently I'm. I don't know.
You might be.
I don't Google my own name, to be honest. So I've done it, but I haven't done it recently.
There's no
I'd
point
normally
me
Google my own name if I've done something in running that's likely to have either got hate or love. So I just want to check which way it's gone. It's the only time I ever search my name on social media.
Fair enough.
I think I'll do the same in boxing. I'll search my name if I've made fights to see how people react to them.
Definitely do that.
Yeah. All right.
All right, and Jack, I appreciate your time, my man. You go get yourself some sleep. Cheers, mate. Okay, I've got one more in the chat. One more waiting to come on. OTC. Off the canvas. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Nice, calm, man. It's calm, man. How are you, man? How are you?
I'm good.
We've watched you for so long. Yeah, man. I'm fantastic. I've been watching you for wow. So coming up to what, 3+ years? Well, actually, no. Before that, it's been a while. Yeah, I've watched you for so long. It's like I'm so familiar to hearing your voice regularly. It's actually like scary. Like the problem is, I could walk past you on the street,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have a faintest idea. Yeah, I listen to your videos regularly, man. So I'm a huge fan.
You know what? This has happened in real life. To
Is
me.
it?
Yeah, it has happened. It has happened. It's like I've been like a speaker to people, and sometimes go, "You sound like that Sporting Icons fella." Yeah.
Just say no, you're not. I'm his brother.
Well, I mean, it depends. If they're like big and butch or something, and I think, yeah, okay, maybe they don't like me. No, I don't know who that is.
Oh wow. No, have you
Yeah.
bumped into like somebody you slagged off like on your one of your videos, as in like maybe a Fury or something like that?
Matthew Macklin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I didn't speak to him, so like he didn't know it was me, and I kind of kept it stum.
That's probably a smart move. But yeah, been watching you for so long, man, so long. And I saw it, and I saw the live come up with regards to Fury fanboys. For me, I happen to know a few friends of mine who were Fury fans, ex-Fury fans.
Yeah.
They filed a divorce because they cancelled that membership immediately because Fury, albeit he's done amazing stuff within the ring, it's the outside of the ring antics that really gets to people. It's the point where he's lying and contradicting himself. I would trust, believe it or not, I would trust Boris Johnson over Tyson Fury. That's how I think they're competitive. I think they're quite neck and neck. In terms of
That'll be harsh even for me.
well, to Boris.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? It's the constant lies and deceit, and it's the point to the extent where I'm hearing him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I don't really care about belts," and then a couple of years before that, he goes, "I fight Dilly White for the diamond belt," and I'm just sitting there thinking, "I thought you didn't fight for belts." And then he goes, "Oh, AJ's backing me." And his team's not actually putting an offer to AJ's team to begin with. And it was his team that it fell through. Like, for me, defending Tyson Fury is becoming like a very hard matter. I'm not going to lie, there is no lawyer in this planet that can defend that guy. It's very, very, very difficult.
You know what? It's like I get like a lot of stick from some of the Tyson Fury fans, fanatical ones, but they don't realize that, I've been like a fan for Tyson Fury, and it is actually quite hard for me to say some of the things that I say.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. Because when you've been supporting someone for so long, it's difficult to go in on someone. It is difficult. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I've been watching Fury since he turned pro. I never watched him as an amateur. I've always said I've never seen him as an amateur. But as a pro, with like a Rob McCracken and that in his corner to begin with, and his rise right the way through has been pretty phenomenal. And I like his resume. It's not brilliant, that's for sure. But the lies is really what's kind of like been annoying me for a long time, and I've been giving him a pass on it. But the whole Anthony Joshua situation where he conned me, he conned you, he conned the fans, that's what irritated me.
That Yo, I'm still mad at that till now, and that just happened when did that happen? In June, July? And we're still mad about it in September. That's how much it touched us. That's how much it touched us. Because it was a 1 year of hope, building up, videos, this is going to happen. Everything was on the line. And you know what? It was the lack of... You know what? One thing I'm quite concerned or even confused about is why he still remains with his team. Because if it was useful, imagine this. Imagine you've been giving up a year, you're looking forward to one fight, and all of a sudden, your team put in within the clause of the contract, you have to fight the same opponent you've already smashed his head in, and prior to that, arguably you've beaten him on points, but potentially got robbed to then having to fight him again, and promise you that the Anthony Joshua fight is the fight that we're looking forward to. You know, the arbitration is not a problem. I'll look at my team and say, you know what, lads, it was nice knowing you. Literally due to the lack of competency, but I've not actually heard him. Not how to say. I've not had him mock his team or degrade his team, or even feeling disappointed. He was on ESPN, all happy as Larry that the fight. The fight of your, literally one of the biggest fight of your life, fell through a couple of days before that, and you're on ESPN like nothing happened, and you're just cracking jokes and signing contract 48 hours later when it took you over a year to negotiate a deal for the Anthony Joshua fight. It's crazy. Right. Boxing is a crazy sport. Having said that, I do think that he will still beat Deontay Wilder. A lot of people that I know, you know, believe that. I don't know. They cloud their judgment of what goes in the ring from what he does outside of the ring. He can do the most outside of the ring, in my point of view. He can do apart from drinking and damaging his body or whatever. He can say whatever comes out of his mouth prior to the fight. That really doesn't really affect or change what he does within, and I think he'll be what's his name, Deontay Wilder. I think he has to be. The thing is, even though Tyson Fury pissed me off, he has to win. There is no other choice. Deontay Wilder keeps those belts hostage. Like, the belts ain't coming back to England. Put it this way: if it goes to Deontay Wilder, there's no undisputed, guys. Get that out your heads. He ain't happening. The guy is going to ask for 70-30 in his favor to fight Anthony Joshua. He'll do something like that. The fight will not happen if it's with Deontay Wilder. More than likely, ain't gonna happen. The fight with Deontay Wilder and Dillian Wright is ain't gonna happen. Even if Maurizio Sullivan says it has to happen, it ain't gonna happen. And Maurizio Sullivan will. Well, I don't know what they've got going on there, but it's a bit dodgy. It's a bit dodgy, particularly with a lot of that side of fighters, or a lot of Al Heyman fighters thank Al Heyman before they thank God. Something's a bit weird. Something's a bit weird when you go on that side. I mean,
I will say though, when it comes to this third fight, I wouldn't mind it so much if Fury insisted that it happened in the UK. I don't know why it has to be in America again.
Because of ESPN's, because of Fury's agreement with ESPN, it has to happen in the US. That's number one. And number two, because of the Wilder side as well. Because Wilder will not travel to the UK.
No, he won't.
That he will not travel to the UK to fight Tyson Fury, especially if he felt that he was mistreated by the officials in the US. He's definitely not going to come to the UK, 100%. If he felt it was wrongdoing done to him with regards to the gloves or whichever, go to his his skull. I don't know what's going on in his head, but he definitely will therefore go over to the UK and say, you know what, I'm fighting your turn. It's not. To be fair, Wilder does things his way, and I don't know if it was part of the agreement that the fight has to happen amongst the US, but the lead promoter, is Bob Arum and Al Heyman, and from them they're going to make more money for their promotional companies alongside ESPN if that happens in the US as opposed to happening in the UK being at 3-4 a.m. in the morning. So it's in their best interest to happen. Like, even though Tyson Fury, I would have, for me,
that fight would have sold out in the UK easily.
It would have. Do you know what? It would have. Well, there still would have been ticket problems because even amongst British fans there was some like a lot of British rappers that have not watched that fight, you know, or had reluctancy to watch that fight. Now I think what Frank Warren wanted to do is to stack that card with Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yard. But to my understanding, that fight ain't happening either.
No, I heard that
What?
Lyndon Arthur and Pat Barrett was asking for that fight to take place at Old Trafford. 75,000 seat stadium, Old Trafford.
I don't think. I think they're going to do a Wembley scenario where even though it's at the Old Trafford, they're going to have I don't know, 1,000-seat allocation or 2,000, like something along those lines. They're going to have a set amount of allocation and allow fans to do that. Because if they open it up to 75,000 people and you look at TV and there's only like a couple of thousand people, it will look bad for Frank Warren. And I think right now it's the end of Frank Warren. I think it's the end of the road. I think it's time for him, to take the next step. He's done amazing over the 40. Or he's done amazing over 30 years. I don't know about the last 10 years. It's a bit questionable, but he's done amazing over 30 years. Yeah. He's laid the foundation for British boxing, but now I think he should just. You know what? If I was him, if I was Eddie, to be fair, I'll call one of his Saudi mates, and I'll go to Frank Warren and say, you know what? It's getting to the end of your career. Let's merge our companies together. We'll buy your company off you right then and there. Right then and there, let's buy your company off you.
Don't be surprised if Matchroom put in a bid for that.
100%. 100%. Why not? I don't see why not. Consolidate everything. Have it under one big umbrella in the UK at least. And put on British boxing. Let the UK be the home of boxing globally. Let the fights happen in the UK regularly, and people outside of the UK in other territories look at the UK as a beacon of hope for boxing globally. I don't see why not, but it happens. But if we do that, just a small step here in the UK in doing that, well, I say small, but if they work together, big things are coming. Big things are coming, and hopefully, big things will come from the Anthony Joshua fight this weekend, and I'm really excited about that also.
Same. Okay, then off the canvas. I appreciate your time, man. I've got like 3 more people.
Thank you very much.
So I do appreciate your time, and again, apologies for keeping you waiting for so long.
Do you know what? To speak to you, it's an absolute honor because I've been watching you for so long, and I'm really grateful for being on this platform also. So thank you very much also.
I appreciate your time. Thanks, my man. Thanks very much.
No worries. Have a lovely evening.
And you, buddy. Okay, another one. Who we got here? We have Lefez. Welcome.
Yo, what's up, Sporting?
How you doing, my man? I've seen you plenty of times. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Seems to be at war with a few fanboys.
Well, I mean, one of them I thought was going to be a little bit irritable, but it actually turned out to be okay. I mean, he's got opinions like everybody, I suppose, but so far they've actually been quite okay.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Do you ever wonder the people that are picking Wilder to pick this trilogy? They're picking him based on Fury having an off night rather than Wilder's actual boxing skills.
That's a bit worrying, isn't it?
Yeah, that usually indicates that someone doesn't have a good chance.
It indicates they don't have too much confidence in Wilder.
Yeah, it doesn't really indicate that, does it?
Although I wonder if Fury beats him again, what the excuses will be next time.
Oh God knows.
I mean, for me, it's okay. As much as I, the excuses irritate me, but it gives me content for the next 12 months, so I'm all right with it.
They blame Malik Scott in it.
Oh, of course.
He'll be the next in line.
Yeah, exactly. Matt Scott was spending too much time on his what do you call it? The mucky videos that he does.
OnlyFans.
There you go. Matt Scott spent too much time on them rather than training Wilder properly. That'll be the new one.
He probably is training Wilder properly, just in a different way.
Oh, I had to remove my video when I said that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you thought you went too far with that one.
Yeah. No, that's good to speak to you though, man.
Yeah,
I've seen you in the comment section plenty of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you're up quite late. It's what 10 to midnight now. You working
Yeah.
tomorrow?
No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's happening with Joshua Usyk?
Oh, you asking for my prediction? I think I got maybe like Joshua by knockout. And the reason why I say that is because Usyk, he starts late, you know, like the Chisora fight, the Breeders fight, the Hunter fight, and the Bellew fight. And when he starts late, he does get hit with some, you know, good shots. You know, Breeders caught him with good right hands plenty early on in the fight. Michael Hunter caught him. And I'm thinking if AJ can catch him like those guys can, then Usyk might be in trouble, you know, because AJ has put down big heavyweights who are durable, like Andy Ruiz, he had never been on the floor. Charles Martin had never been on the floor. Kevin Johnson had never been stopped until he fought Anthony Joshua. Like, there's a lot of guys that Anthony Joshua's fought with big heavyweights that are durable, and he's taking them out. So I feel like if, like, obviously, if AJ gets Usyk's respect, then I don't think Usyk will probably win the fight. But if Usyk can somehow take AJ's punching power and he could probably come on strong, then that's probably where it gets tricky for AJ.
Good points. Very good points. And what if it's going to happen with Fury and Wilder? Do you think it's going to be a one-sided beatdown win for Fury again, or?
Yeah. You know, people keep saying that Wilder had the boxing skills in him all along. I feel like his boxing skills look better on him when, you know, he was in the Olympics, even though he didn't look good there. When he fought Johan Duopa or Chris Ariola, his boxing skills look better there. But nowadays, his boxing skills are non-existent, and I don't think he's going to be able to bring that up back in one training camp. And his muscle memory is just programmed to not throw many punches and just look for the right hand. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Just one training camp.
Yeah. Well, I do think that inactivity is probably going to hurt Fury more than Wilder.
Yeah, it could do, because Fury don't live that like, you don't live the athlete lifestyle. Yeah, he's got a history of blowing up in weight and just doing all sorts of, you know, crazy things. You know, like he's not as fresh as some people think he is. He's 33 years old. He hasn't had as many like heavyweight world title fights as neither AJ or Wilder, but his body's been through a lot, even outside the ring. Wilder lives a healthier lifestyle.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Like, Wilder's always in shape.
I mean, I always see it with like with Wilder. All he's got to really do is be in shape and keep practicing that right hand, whereas Fury's got to go through his whole repertoire, you know?
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult. All right. What about Dillian Whyte, Otto Wallin? Do you like that fight?
Oh, yeah, I like that fight. You know, there's some Fury fans that be like, oh, it's like hypocritical because when Fury announced it, no one liked it. But when Whyte announced it, everyone saying it's a good fight. But it's two different things. Wallin was unknown when he signed to fight Fury, and he didn't look good before then. But since the Fury fight, he's looked better because he hurt Fury, he cut him, and he beat Dominic Breazeale. So the fight looks better.
Yeah.
It looks better there and in. I think Dillian Whyte could win. It's only like the second southpaw he's fought in his career. He has fought a southpaw before, years ago. He looked good in that fight. He looked good with a southpaw stance, but again, that was years ago, and Otto Wallin is better than that opponent. Whyte was able to get to Joseph Parker, who I think hits harder and is much bigger and is a better boxer than Wallin. You know, Joseph Parker is a much better boxer than Wallin, and Whyte was still able to get to him with the body shots and so on and so forth. I don't think Wallin has the power to keep Whyte away, even though Whyte has shown a shaky chin. Because if you watch the Breazeale fight, Wallin hit Breazeale with a bunch of clean shots, and Breazeale wasn't even hurt. And Breazeale's been hurt multiple times. He's been down and he's been knocked out early, and Wallin couldn't do anything to him. So if the Povetkin knockout hasn't, you know, taken the punch resistance from Dillian Whyte, then I feel like Wallin hasn't got anything to hurt Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte will probably do to Wallin what he did to Joseph Parker. Probably might stop Wallin.
Yeah, for me, I think that Dillian Whyte, he needs to get aggressive with him.
Yeah.
Like bully him a bit, much like he did with Parker.
Yeah.
Rough him up a bit. Because I think if he allows Wallin, of course, he's tall. He's 6'5", something like that. So he's got like decent reach, southpaw. He's a very good boxer. If he lets him have his own way, I think that Dillian Whyte might have a horrible night. But if he just presses him, fights a little bit dirty, then maybe he may come out on top and actually stop Wallin early.
Yeah, he probably does need to fight dirty because Wallen fought dirty against Fury. You know, when he
Oh,
cut Fury, he started farming a cut.
that was savage, wasn't it?
Yeah. And White has been farmed as well before against Marius White. So
Mm.
he's probably familiar with that kind of tactic.
Yeah, exactly.
Even against Brazil, Wallen was getting hit. You know, later on when he faded, like he's completely dominating that fight and he just faded out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I feel like White's stamina's being tested more. In the Chisora fights, that fight was like a much higher pace. And White looked more energized than Chisora did.
Yeah. We see when, like a Dillian, he fought Parker, like a lot of people don't actually realise that Dillian, he had a damaged right hand and a broken rib going into that fight.
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, him being, I don't know, just going 12 rounds was pretty amazing, really.
He was tired from like the 8th round. You know,
Yeah,
but
he was.
kept on pushing. Yeah. And that's also not Dillian's proper fighting weight, 259. That's not his real fighting weight, if anyone knows Dillian White's career. It's not. He only came in that weight because both him and Parker had short training camps. The fight was announced not too long away from the fight day. So both men didn't really have enough time to lose weight. But yeah.
Well, right before that Parker fight was announced, when they had the press conference, I was speaking with Dillian about 2 days before the press conference, and he said to me, right, I'll tell you, don't tell anyone else, but me and Luis Ortiz have agreed to fight. So when they announced that they're going to have a press conference with Dillian White, I'm expecting Luis Ortiz, and that rocks Joseph Parker. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, because they weren't even supposed to fight each other. Parker was originally looking for Bryant Jennings, I think, and White was looking for Pulev or Ortiz.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. So I'll let you finish off with a couple of words. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to? Your missus or anything like that?
Nah, nothing really. It's just a pleasure to be on here.
No, I appreciate your time, man, and of course your support. I know you've been here for like quite some time, so I do appreciate you, my man.
All right, see you later, Spoon.
All right, buddy. You take care.
You too.
All right, Jake.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
I just wanted to say you've got such an incredible channel, and keep on doing what you're doing.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, my man.
Going on to the boxing. I think we've got such an incredible night. Going on Saturday.
Are you looking forward to Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah, I think arguably with Klitschko, I think this may be Joshua's biggest test.
Yeah, this is going to be Joshua's. Is it his second southpaw he fought? Charles Martin was the first. This might be his second.
Yeah, because I'm relatively new to boxing, I've managed to catch up with all the fights over lockdown, so the lockdown helped me learn about boxing and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Would you do any kind of like boxing that yourself?
No, I just like watching it and try and pick up. Well, try and because when I'm a bit older, I want to like become. I know this sounds silly, but I want to become like a commentator.
Okay.
So yeah, I love watching all the big fights and seeing all their styles and stuff.
Okay, cool. Are you looking forward to Wilder Fury 3?
I am, because we get to see Fury back in the ring for since February.
Yeah.
But I think he's got Wilder's number.
Yeah.
I think because I just speak the truth. I think Fury beats Wilder round 8.
Oh, okay. So one more round, yeah.
Yeah, because I think he's had a child. And I think with all the ring rust, Wilder's been training, and he says he's gonna go to the body, but he's not gonna go to the body. As John Fury said, once you get hit, well, I can't remember who said it, but once you get hit, your game plan will go out the window.
Yeah, that is true. And I hope Fury does it. I really, really hope that Tyson Fury does it. I know I'm giving him like a lot of stick lately, but I mean, I still support Fury. I just don't like a certain things that's been going on. But okay, what about Dillian White, Otto Wallin?
I'm really looking forward to that fight. I just think while Wallin and White is an incredible fight. I'm sorry, Sporting, but I'm picking Otto Wallin.
Oi, what you doing?
Yeah, I'm picking him on points.
It's a good thing that was my last question for you.
Maybe as we get closer to the fight, I might predict White, but I predict Wallin on points.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Going back to the Wilder Fury. When Wilder loses, I wonder what they're all gonna say about Wilder.
Yeah.
I think Wilder, his fans are just gonna say, "Oh, it was the gloves. Oh, it was that." Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. It's not about his gloves. If there was any issue about Fury's gloves, they'd have picked it up ages ago.
Yeah. Fury didn't cheat. There's no way he cheated.
And
He used some dirty tactics, of course, but a lot of players do.
It isn't the dirty tactics, but the referee's in there for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And
they say the referee's drunk and whatever. He was not drunk.
Yeah. I agree.
But I'll tell you Wallin, I just think Wallin will win on points.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I hope you're wrong on that one.
Do you think?
I hope you're right on that one. Sorry.
I think after Fury and Wilder happens, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Fury calls it retires.
Oh well, technically he can't because he's got one more fight with Top Rank. Technically, but there again, you never know.
Yeah,
okay, Jake.
He could pay them a lump sum of money, and then that could be the end of Fury. Well, he could go into retirement.
Yeah.
But I think I want Wilder. No, I'm not. I want White and Fury to fight.
Yeah.
I want White and Fury to fight, but then they want Joshua and Fury to fight. So
yeah.
You know.
All right. Fair enough. All right, Jake. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I appreciate you coming in. Okay.
Do more of these chats with subscribers
I will.
because I've been really enjoying it.
Of course, I will be. I do promise that. I mean, I know I don't do enough of these live streams. I know I need to make more effort on them. I need to try and find more free time. So again, I appreciate your time, Jake. Thank you very much for coming in.
I just gotta go sleep. I've got to go to school.
Oh, okay. All right. You take care now.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Oh, okay. All right, Lee. Firstly, apologies for the wait. I know you've been here for a little while, so I do apologize. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. And you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I hope you're well. You've been enjoying this lovely British weather?
It's been horrendous, isn't it? We haven't really had a summer. And when the kids go back to school, the sun shines. Typical.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, exactly. That happened last week, didn't it?
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm a bit like shell-shocked I've actually got on. So thanks for that.
That's all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I just wanted to bring up a couple of things, like, you know, you put on your sporting icons, you know, and which I totally agree with, by the way. And I just wanted to bring up the fact, you know, obviously I'm not a Joshua fanboy, I'm not a Fury fanboy, but one thing that does strike me is, like, why do the Fury fans never make him accountable for his actions? You know, it's the think of it like pop stars and like movie stars, you know, like these fans they're at the front row of the crowds, they're screaming for their favorite pop stars. When Michael Jackson used to perform, it's that kind of thing. You know, when Michael Jackson was going through all those kind of allegations, no, he didn't, when they didn't even know. It's that kind of thing with Fury. Not that I'm comparing Fury with Michael Jackson, of course not. No, that would be ridiculous. Let's put this on right now. We're not comparing Fury to Jackson. However, there are some questions that need to be asked, you know, and I feel like whenever he's asked them questions, he just backs away. I mean, here's an example. Remember when he said he was going to give all his charity money to charity, and when he was asked about it in an IFL interview, he backed off, and I don't think Coogan's done an interview him since. And it just winds me up how he's conning the public, you know, and that's what pisses me off. Listen, I hope he beats Wilder. I hope he destroys him, but he's a fraud. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me.
Well, I think with Fury, I mean, there's nothing wrong with his ability. I don't think that can really be questioned too much. I mean, he's got weaknesses, like every fighter does.
Absolutely.
Okay? But I think that with Fury, I mean, he's proving time and time again, and until he gets beaten, I can't really argue with these fanatics who say he's the best of this era because he hasn't been beaten yet. But at the same time, I need Fury to fight AJ. I need him to fight White.
Yeah.
Likewise, I need them to fight Fury, and I need them to fight Wilder.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree. The problem is with Fury is that, like, you know, he's been holding on to that WBC belt, you know, and the one thing that winds me up is that in his bullshit, he's gone from, you know, he's saying that he's going to destroy everyone, and he's nearly 2 years out the ring. I don't know. I just feel like there's been too many questions around his drug cheating, his, you know what I'm saying. He's just, I don't know. There's too many questions around him, you know, and I feel like he's conning the public.
He's playing the media game is what he's doing. He knows how to reel people in. For me, I think he's much smarter than people give him credit for. He knows how to promote himself.
Yeah,
and
for
some
sure.
of the stupid things he says, I think, are deliberate.
Do you reckon?
To get people like me and other YouTubers talking about him. Because if you're talking about him in a negative way or a positive way, you're talking about him.
I suppose so. But at the same time, I kind of think that in the moment, he doesn't really, like, he says what he feels in the moment, but he doesn't really think about the consequences of what he's saying. So he says, oh, I'm going to fight AJ, I'm going to fight this, and then it doesn't come through. I wish he would just shut up. Just shut up and fight. Just shut up and fight. Yeah. And then, do you understand?
Yeah. I mean, I understood Fury a few years ago when he was being mouthy, when he was trying to get the David Haye fight on the build up to Klitschko, because he's trying to build his profile, earn some money. Now you've got money. He says you didn't need any more money. You've got this $100 million 5-fight deal with Top Rank with only 2 fights left. You don't really need to sell it because you're going to get paid anyway. So why lie? Why all the exaggerations? That's one of my issues.
But he just does it. And another thing as well is like, I don't know. I feel like he hates Eddie Hearn and Joshua so much. I don't think that fight will ever come to fruition, which is a shame because, you know, he's going to risk, you know, he's going to not fight someone for the biggest payday. And we all know we all know Fury loves a pound note. Let's be honest, he does.
Of course.
But he's gonna, you know, not fight Fury and Joshua. And in my opinion, he's doing it just because he does not like Hearn and Joshua. And it's like, this is why boxing is so much bullshit. In my opinion, it's bullshit. It's like the best should fight the best, and quite frankly, they don't. And that's what winds me up, you know.
Well, look at it from a promoter's like a point of view. Look at it from Bob Arum and Frank Warren's point of view. Now, they probably believe in Fury. They do believe in him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I believe in Fury.
But if he fought AJ, what happens if AJ wins? If AJ beats Fury, Eddie Hearn's got all the belts. Where does that leave them? That's why, for me, I don't think it's a risk that they want to take.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Like, I don't think Fury... if I'm honest, I think that's a 50-50 fight. Like, I love Joshua. I'm a fanboy. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But no, it's true. I think Joshua's, you know, been a trailblazer. But I think Fury could possibly beat him. But Fury doesn't really want the smoke, and it's really because he doesn't want to lose it, you know. And there's so much to be gained, you know. And it's just really weird. It's so corrupt, isn't it?
Well, it is. I do think that Fury is kind of similar to Wilder from one point of view, that they've been talking about AJ for so much. They've been hyping themselves up as AJ so easy, the bodybuilder, he's no good, he's easier for us to beat him. Well, prove it. Well, what if I embarrass myself?
Exactly.
All that thought comes crumbling down.
Exactly. And to be honest, they thought they would never make that Fury fight, in COVID, and then Hearn went and done it. And then, Fury will say, well, the arbitration. But I kind of believe one thing, Eddie Hearn, I know he's a salesman, but one thing I'll say is that he does tell us the truth in his videos. I feel like he tells the truth. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, that fight was made, and he was told that the arbitration wouldn't be a problem. For me, it was all a ruse to build the Wilder fight. And apparently they're struggling to sell tickets. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, I did a video on that and it didn't look good for him.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous to me because I don't care who's the best. Don't get me wrong. I love Joshua, but if Fury wins, that means we've got a British, a British fighter who holds all the belts. So it doesn't really matter who wins, like the British public win. So forget all the bullshit, mate. Just fucking fight each other,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what do you think about White versus Wallin? Who do you think's going to win?
Well, I hope Dillian White wins, and I think he will. I think for him to beat Wallin, he's going to have to get dirty.
Yeah.
He's going to have to rough up Wallin. He's going to have to put Wallin into a situation he hasn't been in before.
Yeah.
Because like a Fury, he tried to box Wallin. Brazil tried to box Wallin. I think Dillian White needs to do the complete opposite, rough him up, a couple of low blows once in a while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like,
drop that guard, catch him with a left hook.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. And listen, I'm not going to make any fans here when I say this, but if you see when Wallin fought Fury, when he gave him that cut, if that was any other fighter, that would have been stopped. And I remember the commentators saying, "Oh, he's been clashed by heads or whatever." And then when they showed the replay, he'd been done by a punch, and the fight went on. If that was anyone else, that would have been stopped. So I don't know. I just feel like Fury does have flaws, and he's very picky about who he fights. And I think just fight the best because you're supposed to be the best. Just fucking fight.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know what the problem with it, like why these people can't just fight each other. They're getting paid well. It's not like the likes of you and me who's got to go do like a 9 to 5 job for not even a fraction of what they get.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous, I just feel like Fury always says, "Oh, it's not about the money," but it really is. In his interviews, he's been caught out a few times. It definitely is about the money, and he got offered loads of money to fight Joshua, and he didn't want the smoke. So, for anyone who says, "Oh, Fury's the best," and yeah, maybe he is, but we'll never know until he fights Joshua, because at the moment, those two are standout the best out there. So if they don't fight each other, it's just bullshit, isn't it?
How do you think, say for example, Fury goes through with what he says, he fights Wilder, beats Wilder, his next fight's Dillian White in December?
To be honest, I love Dillian White, I really do, but I don't think he's elite level. Like, I love him, I love watching him, and I'll pay pay-per-view every time he fights, but I don't think he's elite. And whilst he deserves a chance, he definitely deserves a chance at the WBC. They've taken a piss out of him. I just don't believe he's elite level. If maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I just feel like he's not elite level. But definitely good to watch. And I think he'll give Fury a tough fight. But in the end, I don't really like Fury that much. But in the end, I think Fury would probably win that fight. But does Dillian deserve a shot? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
What about you?
I definitely want to see the fight. That's for sure.
Who do you think wins?
Oh, I don't. For me, it's quite awkward because I think if Fury's very capable of putting on a very poor, non-crowd pleading performance, just using the jab back foot all night, and he can keep Dillian away with that jab all night.
Yeah.
And Tyson Fury doesn't give a damn about stinking the place out.
No.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But at the same time, Fury does get complacent in each and every fight. He has moments of overconfidence, switching off. And I think in that moment, if Dillian White catches him with that left hook, I don't think Fury can take it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know, I think Fury beats White, but listen, take nothing away. I'll be supporting White in that fight. I love Dylan White. He's gone from, basically he's promoted himself really. I mean, he's been under Eddie Hearn, but he's always been second best to Joshua, and now he's like an out pay-per-view star. And you know, I'm happy to pay my 20 quid, you know, when he fights. That's happy, but you know, I don't know. I just feel like he's not elite level. You know what I mean?
Well, hopefully with his performance over Otto Wallen, that'll change your mind. Hopefully.
I hope so. Like I said to you, Sporting, I really like White. He's one of my, apart from Joshua, is my favorite fighter to watch. He never ducks a fight, never ever like takes a shit fight. And people are saying this Wallen fight's a shit fight. I don't think it is. I think he deserves it. He deserves this fight. What he's been fighting back to back real good fighters. He can have a night, you know, he can have a night where he has an easy one, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not? Well, it is going to be difficult for Joshua against Usyk, though. I'm a little bit nervous for Joshua.
I'm not going to lie to you, mate. I'm on the edge of my seat every time Joshua fights. Like, don't listen. I readily admit I'm a fanboy. I love Joshua, but every time he fights, I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge of my seat because I just think he's got vulnerability. He has, you know, like, you know, if the right punch comes in, he can go down. But you know, like Ruiz, he can come, like when he lost to Ruiz, he can come back and box. And I think that fight against Ruiz really set the tone for the rest of his career. You know, I think like now you'll see him, he's still a finisher, but now you'll see him box. He'll start working people out before he starts going in gun ho, you know?
Like he did with Pulev.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so he got a lot of stick, Sporting, you know, like people were saying, oh, he could have had Pulev out of there. But I think he just took his time, you know, and I think White, even Dylan White at the end of that fight was saying, oh, it was a bit weird. But mate, you know, it's COVID. He needs to get rounds under his belt. And I think he did the right thing. And to be honest, I was expecting Pulev to be a lot better than what he was. But I don't know. It was a bit of a weird. Yeah, it was weird. But, you know, he done, what was it, the 9th round he done him? So, I don't know.
Something like that,
yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just think, stop talking about fucking Joshua Fury. Just fucking get it done and stop the politics. You know, Frank Warren in the media and Eddie Hearn. Like, I love Eddie Hearn. He's a great salesman. But fucking hell, just make the fight. You know, make the fight.
Exactly. No, I can totally agree with you. And I mean, Peter Fury would agree with everything you said there, because Peter Fury said the same thing that you have. Too many people talk too much and just don't get on that dotted line, sign it, and get in the ring. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. There's so much money to be made. And do you know what? How does Eddie Hearn now go back to the what was it? Where did they sign that fight for? Was it somewhere in Arabia? Where was it? The Joshua Fury fight. Yeah. So how does he now go back to them, Prince Khalid, after basically having a done deal and it fell through? How does he go back now and try and sign that fight? Like, do you know? I don't know. I just feel like Fury, I don't know. I feel like they've lost when they do eventually fight. How many people are going to go, yeah, do you know what? I'll pay the money for that fight, because they won't trust Fury, because he might pull out, you know?
That is one of the worrying things, because if they booked it for like Saudi Arabia, and I mean, how many people are going to be confident of booking that ticket, booking the hotel, getting a loan potentially for spending money and whatever else it's going to cost them, get their ticket, get over there for him to pull out the fight?
That's the problem we have. And, you know, the thing with, you know, a lot of people don't like Eddie Hearn, but they told him he couldn't make that fight. He fucking did it, didn't he? Yeah. And then right at the end, what most people thought would happen happened, and Fury pulled out. Listen, I love Fury. I don't want anyone to think like I don't like Fury. When he fights Wilder, I hope he fucking wins. And me and my missus will be up at 3 a.m. watching that fight. But you know, I just don't like the way he goes about his business, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, maybe I'll take it a bit too personal, because obviously I've had like a Bob Barron on the channel like a couple of times. And
have you?
Yeah. So like actually speaking about that fight, and, you know, Fury versus Anthony Joshua, and he blatantly told me, don't worry about it. Wilder's got no leg to stand on, not a lawyer in the world is going to take Wilder aside. Don't worry about it. You haven't got to worry about Fury Joshua fight not happening. It's going to happen. And maybe that's why I take it a bit personal, because I feel like he knew it wasn't going to happen. And I feel like I'm lied to. And one thing I hate is being lied to.
Yeah, me too. And like, I got sucked into the whole build-up of that fight as well. And again, you know, the Fury fans will hate me, but I'm a Joshua fanboy. I don't care. But doesn't mean to say I don't like Fury. I love them both. But, you know, I got sucked into the build-up of that fight. And I just thought, yes, finally, it's going to get made. And then right up until the last point. And, you know, when they said it was good, I think they put the price up for the pay-per-view for that fight, right? I can't remember how much it was, but like 30. I can't remember what they said it was going to be. Whatever. I was happy to pay it. Happy. Like, who cares? You're going to watch the fucking unified heavyweight and then boom, can't do it. And I just feel like, I just feel like they knew it wasn't going to happen. And it was just all the ruse, you know, all the ruse.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't mind so much, I suppose, in some ways, if, for example, it wasn't for a bloody Wilder 3 fight. We know who the better man is. We've seen Fury beat him twice already.
Yeah.
Again, and charge me pay-per-view to see the same fight that I've seen twice already.
I know. Listen, I'm going to pay it again. Listen.
You are going to pay it?
Yeah, call me a dick, but I'm going to pay to watch that fight again just because, listen, Fury's British. I think you said this earlier, never back against a Brit, and I will never back against a Brit. He's going overseas, and he's going to, I'll back Fury. But I just feel like, can you imagine now, after they had the chance to fight Joshua in Saudi Arabia for all that money, and now they've got to fight Wilder and Usyk. Imagine if they both lose, or Fury gets knocked out, or Joshua. That just ruins everything for us Brits, you know? That's my issue here. It's like you had the chance, and now you're taking fights that possibly you could lose. And if they do lose, you're going to look like a right dick, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what happens if Wilder wins and Usyk wins?
Exactly. This is what I've been saying. And my missus, listen, she's not really into boxing. She's into boxing because of me. But she said the same thing. Imagine if they both get knocked out. What happens then? Then you've got to wait like 6 to 8 months for a rematch, and the fight just never happens. You know, this is the last chance saloon for me. It's like Fury needs to beat Wilder, Joshua needs to beat Usyk, and then there is no other fight that is to be made. Like, I heard on YouTube that David Haye had his little Fournier fight, and he's calling out Tyson Fury. And but the thing is, it is laughable. But then I think someone put to Frank Warren, "Oh, Haye wants to fight Fury," and he said, "Well, if he gets a couple of fights under his belts that are ranked, then he could have it." It's like, is that the route we're going down now? So Fury will wait and have a little fight. Come on, we don't want to see Fury versus Haye. Fuck off.
The scary thing about that is that David Haye has always had a good relationship with the sanctioning bodies, which is why he can come back, fight Mark Demori, Arnold Jajai, and become #1 mandatory in the WBO.
I know it's
so he's worrying that you know, he could fight Joe Fournier and get ranked in the top 15 just because the WBC are okay with Fury versus Haye.
It's laughable. It's laughable. But like when I heard Frank Warren, you know, he'd done his little shoulder roll and said, "Well, if he gets a couple of ranked fights under his belt, he might." Yeah, but he's actually seriously talking about a fight between Haye and Fury. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You've got Dylan White there, who's been on the fucking WBC list for however long. And yes, he lost to Povetkin. Povetkin, fucking great fighter in his day. Yeah. Caught Dylan White out cold. He come back and he won. And now he's like it seems like White has been demoted kind of thing just because he had that one loss. But it's like, fucking hell, right? If we don't get to see Joshua versus Fury, White needs to be in the title fight, in my opinion. Yeah.
No, that's it. I mean, for me, I'd like to see Fury take on Dillian White next. I'd be okay with it. I know the world wants to see Fury AJ next, but that ain't happening next. That's not going to happen in December. It's too
no. Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree with you, mate. And to be honest, that's why I waited to get on this channel, because some of the stuff you post, listen, I'm a YouTube addict, especially for boxing. And I see your post and I think, I fucking agree with that. I agree. So yeah, I do. I really do agree. And I just feel like, listen, while I love White, and I'm probably going to buy tickets to go see him versus Wallin, and it's a bit of a shit fight, but whatever, he deserves it. But I feel like if he fights Fury, that would kind of alleviate the pain that I've had from him not fighting Joshua. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course. And especially if Fury lives up to his promise of the fight actually being in the UK as well, in the stadium.
Yeah, which
like
fight
Manchester or whatever.
What, with Dylan White?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, they'll make good money because Dylan White knows how to sell a fight, and so does Fury. Obviously, he's got the traveling background behind him, and he's a top boxer. See, my problem with Fury in his boxing is that, like, the only fights he's been good in, like, or been exciting to watch, are the ones like, the Wilder #2, Wilder #1, and then Klitschko. But even the Klitschko fight, you could argue it was a boring fight to watch. But take nothing away, like, he went over to Dusseldorf, he'd done the business. But since then, what has he really done? Like, what has he really done? He fought Seferi in what nearly was a wrestling match, and then let's be honest. Yeah. I'm not being a dick, but let's be honest. That was nearly a wrestling match, and then Otto Wallin, that cut. Anyone else, that would have been stopped. And I just feel like he's got a lot to answer for, And here's another one of my issues is, like, he chooses his media. It's like he used to be really close with Kugan Cassius on IFL TV. Like, if you look at some of their first interviews, Kugan used to go to his caravan and, like, talk to him. And like, as soon as Kugan asked him about his charity money, he was like, "Oh, you said about your money going," and he just completely back. And I don't think I've seen an interview with him and Kugan since. And
one of the things when it comes to that as well is that Kugan, he openly said that Dylan White and Billy Joe Saunders are his two favorite people to interview. Yeah. Maybe Tyson took that a little bit personal.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, another thing as well, like, and again, I'm not Fury bashing, but it sounds like I am. But, like, do you remember that whole skit they made on Fury giving his shoes to a homeless man? I mean, how many homeless men do you know wear a size fucking 15 foot? Come on, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Like Coco the Clown.
What's that?
So the guy must have looked like Coco the Clown wearing them.
Well, yeah, like, look, I'm sorry to say it. I do like Fury, and I think he's a great boxer, but I just think, like, he has a lot to answer for. That's all I'm saying. He has a lot to answer for, and when he's asked these questions, he shies away, and you never get an interview again, and that winds me up because he says he's a man of the people, but quite frankly, he's not.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before that it's only Team Fury, not Tyson himself, but his team are the only people ever to have ever asked me money to interview someone.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Wow. How much did they? Yeah. Because I noticed even on your Eddie Hearn, he's done a couple of you're tuning into sporting icons. Has he never asked you for dough for that? Nah.
No.
Wow. No. See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And
I've interviewed Eddie Hearn 5, 6 times. Fury, I've never interviewed, and the reason why I've never interviewed Fury is because his team, not MTK by the way, but his team want me to pay a lot of money. They wouldn't give me a figure. I said, okay, I'll give 50 quid to charity. No. We're talking much more than that. I said, what are you talking? 500 quid? He went, no, a bit higher than that. I was like, right, okay, we're just going to end this conversation.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. That he doesn't do himself any favors, and. The problem is that the Fury fanboys, and rightly so, he should have fans because he's done really good. But you've got to question some of the shit he's come out with, and they don't. It's like, do you remember the Boxing Voice?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was another one. They're another channel. It's like you have to, if you're putting yourself out there, you have to be able to take criticism. And they never will. And it's like, how can you be a part of this boxing world if you can't take criticism? And the same for Fury. And I'm not saying it's Fury himself, but definitely his team. And you can even see it now with Peter Fury. I mean, he's never slagged Tyson off, but he has alluded to the facts about working for Fury and You know, and even Ben Davison. I think there was I think I'd seen a little video on YouTube about Ben Davison, about how, you know, he'd alluded to not being paid properly, for instance. And I just think, fucking hell, mate, you know, if you're as good as you say you are, and you're as charitable as you say you are, you would pay your people properly. And that doesn't sit right with me, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing about Anthony Joshua when it comes to that, because you mentioned about like paying people.
Yeah.
As like a lot of people know, one of my best friends is Stephen Robinson. He's a 3-0 heavyweight.
USSR.
Yeah. So he went down to London to spar Anthony Joshua. They did like a 6 rounds. And they had like a conversation about some boxing boots or something like that, however it went. Anyway, about 3 or 4 days later, Steve gets like a knock on the door, and there's a parcel arrived at Stephen's house. And Anthony Joshua sent him these stupidly expensive boxing boots.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
That's like a good thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah,
nice, you know, they didn't have to do.
Yeah. So he's probably got paid for his time, and then he sent him a little gift as well. You know, like, that's nice. I just, like I said, you know, and I don't want to keep, you know, Fury bashing, but the problem is with Fury for me is that he never gets asked the questions that the fans need to know. You know, the fucking bullshit about his, you know, his drug cheating. That's another thing. You're never allowed to ask him about his drug cheating. If you look at all his interviews, you're never allowed to ask him about his drug cheating, because he'll just like cancel the interview. You're never allowed to ask him about like his charity money. And I just think, stop conning up, just be real. And the thing is with Tyson, I feel like he probably does mean what he says at the time, but he doesn't think about the implications that's going to have on the rest of his career. And do you know what I mean? So
I think what Tyson forgets sometimes is, because he lives a very low, simple, low-key life, you know, I think that sometimes he actually forgets that what he says has impact.
Yeah.
What he says influences people.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to go in hard here as well. You know, like his whole depression thing. Don't get me wrong, probably was depressed, but I'd call that a cocaine come down. You know, do you know what I mean? No. Listen, I don't care. Listen, I've been there, mate. You know, like, you win the title, you've got loads of money, and do you know who I rate the most out of Tyson Fury's camp? Who I love? You know, his brother Shane.
He's a cool guy, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I've never met him, but his brother Shane said in an interview once when he was in America training, and he said, I'm here to make sure Tyson doesn't get any smoke blown up his ass. And I feel like Shane's the good guy in that camp. And if anyone can bring Tyson and bring him as the real Tyson, it's Shane, because Shane's he's a good egg, mate, you know?
I like Shane. I do like Shane a lot. I really do.
Me too.
I think he's a very honest person. I mean, he might not be, but the impression I get of him is that he is.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I've never met the geezer, but that's his brother at the end of the day, you know, and you can really tell that he loves his brother. So he said in that interview, he's like, oh, I'm over here to make sure nobody blows smoke up Tyson's ass, and he trains properly. And, you know, he did train properly, and he beat the shit out of Wilder twice. So you can't deny him, you know. And, you know, I just want to make it clear on your channel that I'm not Fury hating. Listen, I want Fury to win. I want him to fucking beat Wilder. However, I just don't think he beats Joshua, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, you might be right, but I mean, the only way that you're going to be proven right or wrong if these guys to fight, isn't it?
Yeah, but they won't fight, will they? And again, that brings me back to my point, is that I don't think Fury and Joshua will ever happen. And it's not because, like, and hear me out here, I don't think Fury's scared of Joshua. Not at all. That's a 50-50 fight. But I feel like the team, they don't like Eddie Hearn. They don't like the way Joshua makes loads of money. They don't like the media presence around. They're against it. So that they feel like they're putting money in Joshua's pocket, when actually it's the other way around, you know? So that's my opinion of it. That fight won't happen until it's kind of like Brooke Khan all over again, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
I mean, I hope that we don't see like another Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather thing where these guys just go on forever.
Yeah.
And these guys fight each other at the end of the line.
Yeah, just ridiculous. But like I said, I think, and do you know who's it? In my opinion as well. Again, this is all my opinion. The Judas in all of this, really, and I hate to say it, but Frank Warren, he can't stand Hearn, and he don't want to put money in. He doesn't want to give Hearn the leeway to make these fights, because I don't know why. I just, have you ever seen him in an interview and he talks about Hearn? His face goes red. He don't like it. Like, it's okay for someone to be good at their job. You don't have to like someone, but if they're doing a good job and they're making you money, just fucking go with it, mate.
Yeah. Frank Warren, he's very old school. I notice that with like a lot of his shows, they have that old school feel.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, look.
Yeah, go on.
No, I was just saying, about Frank Warren. Listen, he's been great for boxing over the years, but fucking hell. I mean, look, here's another one, Daniel Dubois. Listen, love Daniel Dubois. Think he's good and is up and coming. But, I mean, he's lost to Joe Joyce. And what is it, 2 fights in? And he's already, numbers, I can't remember what number he is, but he's, in line for a world title fight. How does that happen? Do you know, if Daniel Dubois was put in with Joshua now, which he's supposed to, he's going to get ironed out. So what's what Frank will do, he'll just keep putting him up against tomato cans, and then
cash him out.
Yeah, and it annoys me because the fighters deserve better. They deserve better. And the same as Anthony Yard as well. Anthony Yard was fighting tomato cans for a lifetime, and then he got put in against what's the fella's name? The Russian, not Russian. What's the guy? The world title fight he had. I can't remember his name now.
Oh, Kovalev.
Yeah. Got fighting tomato cans. Never had a step up. Never had a step up fight.
Never even won an area.
Yeah, never won nothing like that. And listen, this is taking nothing away from Anthony Yard. I think Anthony Yard's the bollocks, but he's just not managed properly. And he's been fighting these tomato cans, and then gets put in against Kovalev, and he has a good fight, but he loses. And then there's just no step up fights. And the same for Dubois. Dubois, he was like Frank Warren's hope of getting it back into the big time. And I told everybody, I said, listen, all my pals were like, yeah, Dubois the man. I said, listen, don't bet against Joe Joyce, because I'm telling you now, he might look sluggish, but he's the man. And what happened? He got beat. And then all of a sudden, he's back at world ranked in line for a title fight. And he's not ready. He's not ready for a title fight. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, please.
Well, that was clever business. We have to give Frank Warren a lot of credit, because he fought a Bogdan Dinu, who was ranked number 1 by the WBA. How he was ranked number 1 by the WBA, I'll never know. So that was very, very good, a smart business. Eddie Hearn, we have to give him a little bit of criticism here, missed that opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, Eddie Hearn's not perfect. Eddie Hearn's what do you call him? He's a salesman, isn't he? And he's like a, what do you call it? Like a he's on the market, like a guy that was in the market back in the day, like on the fucking, oh, here's your fruit and veg, $2 a pound. But I think with Frank Warren, I think his hatred for Matchroom is really, it's not good for his fighters, because it seems like he just won't, I don't know, he just won't, it's just weird. I just think if your fighters are good enough, then it doesn't matter who's they're promoted by, you just fight them against the best. But Frank Warren doesn't seem to, and he puts on these little shows. And listen, through COVID, really good, yeah. He's what did he do? He had a couple of fights in what's that one in London? Yeah.
Oh, the Albert Hall.
Yeah, and good. And he was the first one to put a fight on in COVID. But I'm not being funny. Can you not see the contrast in the shows between the Hearn and the Warrens? In my opinion, I feel like Warren's sons need to step up now. Is it Francis?
Yeah. I said this as well.
Yeah, I feel like if they stepped up and Frank Warren took a backseat, I think they would flourish, in my opinion, Yeah,
exactly. Do what Barry Hearn done. Step back, give your boy the opportunity. If he falls flat on his face, he falls flat on his face, but he might not. And Francis, he comes across quite well. If you watch him interview, he comes across quite well. little bit nervous at times, but that's because he's not used to it.
Yeah, of course, because Frank Warren's always been in the limelight. But another thing I was going to ask you is, what do you think of Sky? And obviously now they've lost Matchroom. They've got that one fight now with Joshua. And in my opinion, I feel like Joshua will probably keep on with Sky just because the zone's still a new concept. So I feel like Joshua will probably stay with Sky. But they've obviously they've got Kala Sauerland, the Sauerland brothers now.
Well, their new promoter is Ben Shalom, who done the Ultimate Boxer. So he's like the head of it all, but they're giving other people like Kala Sauerland, Wasserman opportunities for like certain dates per year.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously you've seen the lineup with you know what's coming onto Sky. And listen, when Chris Eubank Jr. was coming up, I thought he was the bollocks. But I mean, fucking hell, it's like 6 years now, and their little lineup now doesn't seem as interesting as what Eddie Hearn had with Sky, and they seem to like pass off derogatory comments of each other. Eddie Hearn done a wicked job for Sky, and now they're kind of slagging each other off, and I find it a bit weird. It's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Well, I think that with it's gone to the point with like a Sky Sports boxer with the stable of fighters that they've got in, it's always going to be difficult because it's like trying to pick a tree that's already ripened. You're trying to pick the odd one here and there, and obviously that's what they're doing. But by the sounds of it, they have taken on board a lot of the criticisms that fans have been giving them over the years. Now they're using it to start again. Is Ben Shalom the right guy? I don't know. He seems like complete opposite to Eddie Hearn. He seems very shy to do interviews.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's going to feel very, very different.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, can you really replace Eddie Hearn? I mean, I listen. Don't get me wrong. Eddie Hearn isn't the main man of boxing, but fuck me, he gets behind it and he literally sells the fight from start. Even when he has a shit undercard and he's got a shit fight night on, you believe that it's like a world championship fight. Do you know what I mean? So let's be honest. Like, listen, I'm not his biggest fan. But fuck me, if I listen to him talk for 2 minutes, I think, right, I'm buying that pay-per-view. What is it? 60 quid? Let's have it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And listen, I'm the same, right? I get sucked in quite easily as well. Sometimes afterwards I go, did I really fall for that?
Yeah. Mate, me too. Sometimes I'll pay for a pay-per-view.
I bought David Haye, Audie Harrison.
Yeah, so did I. Oh, ridiculous, isn't it? But whatever. In fact, going back to that, he started. Imagine that. That's how he started. David Haye, Audie Harrison, and he was backing Audie Harrison. Yeah. And now, and if I can ask you, and going off topic, what do you think of the zone?
They're making some bold moves now. I mean, just on the comment section today for the 2 videos that I've done about DAZN potentially buying out BT Sport, a lot of people saying, they can't afford to do it. DAZN can afford to do it.
Yeah.
With their football for like the Bundesliga, the football for the Italian Serie A, and the basketball, the American style football, and all these other kind of things that they do, where they generate huge numbers in Japan and Germany, and that especially, they can afford to buy BT Sport.
Yeah. So does that? So I don't understand this because literally I bought DAZN just to watch the Eddie Hearn shows. If I'm being honest, I'm a sad act. I don't care. I wanted to hear that Sweet Caroline. But is it true now that he's going to buy, or not he, DAZN are going to buy up BT? Is that true?
Apparently, and according to some articles, it's already been done.
Wow. So where does that leave Frank Warren?
Well, whatever contract he currently has with BT Sport, which I heard today, which I didn't realize until after I'd done the videos, his contract is up in May.
Right. Okay.
It could be because obviously BT Sport, they're going to acquire all the BT Sport product like the Premier League and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So where at least Frank Warren is, DAZN will have to honor his contract or buy out his contract.
Right. Okay.
But I think it's going to be a win-win for Frank Warren because I think with Frank Warren, maybe DAZN will invest a bit more money for him to put on better shows.
Yeah. And
or cooking him out, and he'll end up joining up with Callis Howland and that over at Sky Sports.
Possibly. And to be honest, I think Frank Warren and Sky have history. Like they obviously do. You know, he's put on some shows for Sky, or some massive shows for Sky. But obviously he's he's getting on a bit now. Nothing to do with age and whatever, but he just doesn't have the same feel. Like, listen, I would rather watch an Eddie Hearn show that had 6 shit fights than a Frank Warren show that had 6 shit fights. Just because with a Matchroom show, you're getting the buzz, the feel, the crowd, and with Frank Warren, it's just like he's putting loads of fighters in a ring. You boys go and do it. There's no money behind it, And,
he's got that 1980s feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was good at the time, but it's not good in 2021.
Yeah, but here's another thing as well that I thought. I saw Frank Warren a couple of weeks ago in an interview when he was asked about the zone taking over, and he was quite complimentary of Eddie Hearn, and I was just like, that's never happened before. And I thought, well, is it because now he might be your boss? I don't know, but I would love them to work. I would love them to work together, just because I don't know. I think like Frank Warren has the fucking knowledge or whatever, but it's just weird. But yeah, they need, if they get if the zone take over BT Sport, that means BT Sport boxing is going to be a lot better than what it is now, if you ask my opinion.
Yeah, of course, because they'll be using their own staff.
Yeah.
Rather than the BT Sport, like what's his name? Bloody was it Paul Dempsey? That guy. He makes me want to pick up my 65-inch TV and rip it off the wall.
Yeah, me too. But
he absolutely annoys me. And John Rawlings, that commentary.
Horrendous.
People say Adam Smith's bad. Hey, listen, Adam Smith can exaggerate, but at least he can make a Winnie the Pooh story sound brilliant.
Yeah. But sporting, like, do you think Adam Smith's a bad commentator?
No,
nor me. I think he's good. I think he's all right. I think he's a little bit biased, and the same as Matt Macklin. I think he's a bit biased, but actually,
that's it. They have to be. They're selling the Sky product. They want you to come back next week.
Exactly. But if I'm honest, in the last, I think 5 years since I really got into boxing, I've never paid for a Sky pay-per-view and never like questioned it. Like 20 quid it's been, and it's gone up recently, but I've never woken up and think, oh, that was a waste of money. Do you know what I mean? Where was Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce pay-per-view? I can't remember, but I remember waking up to watch it. I was in York at the time for my birthday, and I remember just thinking, like, listen, this is a good fight, but I can't believe I'm up at, watching it when I could be out drinking from it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird, And I feel like Frank Warren, in my opinion, he pushes fighters too soon, or maybe not too soon. He pushes them against tomato cans, and when it's time to step up, he doesn't really know what's going to happen.
There's no levels. It's just journeyman, world title.
Mate. Exactly. There's no like step up. Like, it's ridiculous, I mean, like, is it Lyndon Arthur?
Yeah.
Great fighter, yeah. And he beat Anthony Yard. And it's the same with Dubois versus Joyce. It was like, even though Joyce beat him, Frank Warren was still like, you would never think that Frank Warren was Joyce's promoter. The way he was like slagging him down in the interview. Do you know what I mean?
I worry about Joe Joyce and his education, because not only did he stand there and allow Frank Warren to make it all about Daniel Dubois and how he's going to come back and how we'd like to see the rematch. Then afterwards, he had a word with his friends over at the WBO to make Joe Joyce mandatory, and sold it to Joe Joyce that he's going to fight the winner of Joshua Usyk. Joe Joyce is not thinking, but I'm going to get that shot for another 3 years. I'm 35 years old now.
Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I remember watching that interview after the Dubois Joyce fight, and I remember I was cringing, and I wanted to fucking be in that interview and strangle Joe. I wanted to strangle Joe Joyce and say, look, mate, are you fucking serious? This guy does not give a shit about you. You've just beat his #1 prospect, and he literally doesn't care. And then he got a load of backlash from the public, didn't he? And then all of a sudden, Frank Warren's like, "Oh, we're 100% behind Joyce," but he's not. But I mean, who's stupid here? I mean, Joe Joyce signed another deal with him, so who's stupid? I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
I see comments all the time, right, saying how Dillian White should fight Joe Joyce. Dillian White's avoiding Joe Joyce. And my answer is pretty simple. Okay, so you're saying that because you think Joe Joyce will beat Dillian White. So why is it that you criticize Dillian White's opponents, but you're not criticizing Joe Joyce's opponents?
Yeah.
Does anybody really want to see him fight Carlos Takam?
No, not really. Let's be honest, not really. I mean, it was a good fight. It was a good fight for Joe Joyce, just because he hasn't really had any like of note opponents. Apart, what was that one he got done in the belly by him? I can't remember his name now.
Oh, Brian Jennings.
That's it, Brian Jennings. And apart from him, and let's be honest, Brian Jennings is a gatekeeper. Yeah. But I just feel like there's been no real push for Joe Joyce. And if I'm being honest, I feel like Joe Joyce is probably top 5 heavyweights. Like, he might be ugly to watch, but fuck me, the guy can. Oh my God, you see how sluggish he is, and he leans over the opponents, and he's horrible to watch, but he gets the job done.
I do worry about his chin though. I know he's got a good chin so far, but there's only so many of those shots you can take before he goes.
Yeah, mate, that's true as well. Like, he does get hit a lot. He gets hit a lot, doesn't he? But I think that's his come forward. And I don't know where this style has to rise from either. Like, like every time I tune into a Joe Joyce fight, I always think, oh, I can't wait to see him fucking bash someone up. But he never really does. He literally just, he's like the Terminator, isn't he? He just keeps coming forward and it's weird. It's really weird, but it's effective.
I want to see Joe Joyce take on Herkovich.
Oh, that would be a big fight, wouldn't it?
God, that's them two just standing in the middle of the ring, just.
Yeah. What do you think of Herkovich?
I like him, but again, he's there to be hit.
Yeah.
I do think he is one of the most avoided heavyweights, and I'm baffled as to why, when you look at the top 15 rankings of the IBF, how did they get down to Martin Bakole, number 15? That means
I know
the top 14 avoided him. Top 13, top 14 said no.
It's weird, isn't it? It's really weird. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who is it? Is it Alan Babich wants to fight Herkovich?
Yeah, I think that's suicide for Babich.
Yeah, me too. I mean, listen, I like Babich, but Eddie Hearn needs to keep him at British. I mean, I know he's not British, but Eddie Hearn needs to keep him at British level while he keeps drawing the fans in. Because if he goes up against anyone of note, it's game over.
Yeah, I think so. Although I think he's looking to make an attack on the Bridgerweight now.
Yeah, he probably should. I mean, I think if Wilder loses to Fury, I think Wilder will probably be Bridgerweight, will he not? I don't know.
Well, he fights pretty close to it. So yeah. And again, like Marcellus Wilder, I think.
God, mate, he's another one. He's been knocked out so many times.
Yeah, exactly. Knocked out by a journeyman. If you're getting knocked out by a journeyman, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But yeah, I just feel like the heavyweight scene is so exciting, but it's not exciting because the politics involved, and that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got two. Sorry, go on, mate.
I was saying all the politics. It is annoying and it's frustrating, but it's good for creators like myself because it gives me content.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, mate, I've been watching your vids. I think since I don't know, they started coming up on my stream in 2006. I think it was after the Joshua versus White fight. I think they started popping up, and yeah. So I think they started popping up then, and you're never on camera interviewing, but then you always have like notes. They always come up as not notes, but you always tell the truth about what's happening in the the rankings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I always watching. I'm like, are you fucking serious? and but then I go and check it. I go and check the rankings, and I'm like, what you're saying is completely true. Because when I first saw your pop-ups, I was like, he's fucking having a laugh, isn't he? But you go and check the rankings, and that's exactly what's happened. And you're just like, are you fucking serious? So now I don't even have to go to the rankings. I just wait for a fucking, you know, I wait for one of your icon videos to come up. I'm like, those bastards at the WBC, those cunts. Yeah.
That's right. No, it's weird because I tell people this all the time, but like, I mean, nobody believes me, and of course, they don't have to believe me. I've got no way of proving it one way or another. But none of the things that I ever do, I don't put down bullet points. I don't have any kind of script or anything ever.
No, I've noticed about in your post, it's like it's not like doctored. They're coming from the heart. Like like you've literally just seen, and then you've posted. And that's what I like. That's what I like about it. It's like, oh, he's just seen that the rankings are like this, and he's just posted straight away. And that's what you want. You want it to be completely from the heart. And it's not like you're trying to slag anyone off. You're only slagging off the governing bodies, which rightly they should be slagged off. They fucking should be slagged off. Like, how the fuck do they get away with what they do? You know?
Exactly. Because they can.
Yeah. I mean, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you feel like, and I don't know about you, I felt this for the last couple of years, but I feel like someone needs to step in and make a belt, like an actual belt for every, do you know what I mean? I feel like there's too many belts at the moment. And I feel like there needs to be one, like someone who comes along and steps in and then just makes one belt, one champion, like Wilder said, one champion, one name, like, you know, and then to fight for that belt, you need to like give yourself up to all other sanctioning bodies, because I just feel like it's just really weird. Like, how can fucking listen, nothing against Daniel Dubois, I'm sure he'll be great as long as he in my opinion, his dad needs to step away from his career. But come on, everyone thinks it. It's been an underlying tone throughout the whole of his career. It's like, you know, like Mark Tibbs was going to train him. And Mark Tibbs basically said he couldn't train him because he's not really a trainer. Anyway, whatever. I'm getting bitchy now. but I just think, like, how can Daniel Dubois be like in line for a title shot after losing? And do you know what I mean? Someone needs to step in now and say, listen, this is the belt to have. Fuck everyone else off. Yeah. You know.
Well, for that to happen, it would require all managers, all promoters, and all fighters to go, we're not going to fight for any of the alphabet soup belts anymore. We're going to look at this one particular belt, i.e., example, Ring Magazine. I don't think that would be it. But, right, we're going to go with that one. The rest of you, we ain't doing it. We're not paying any sanction fees. That's the only way they can do it. Yeah.
And the problem is no one will. But, you know, the amount that gets paid to these sanctioning fees is ridiculous.
3%.
You know, how much? Yeah. How much do you reckon Dylan White's paid at this moment?
Well, ever since he became WBC international champion, he's been fighting. He must have fought about 12 fights for WBC.
Yeah, I know.
3% of his purse each and every fight.
But, you know, I shouldn't laugh, but I am laughing a little bit because I just think you're getting in the ring, you're putting your trousers down and saying, come and rape me, WBC.
Yeah.
Do you know, you are. You're literally just saying, come and have a pop. You know, because it's not like he's fighting for a title. But here, I'm getting personal here, but it just annoys me because I love boxing so much. You know,
I've never told anybody this, Gabe, but I'll say it now. I was speaking with Dean a while ago. I know I say that quite a lot, but I was.
That's all right.
And I asked him, I said that when you beat Povetkin, why didn't you get that diamond belt? Because the first fight was for the diamond belt. Why didn't you get the diamond belt? He said, well, I'm supposed to. Now, I didn't know that this happened until he told me, which is the reason why he didn't do it is because he refused to pay the amount of money that WBC wanted for that belt.
How much did they want?
I'm not going to say exactly how much it was, but it's probably round about what my house was worth.
Wow. I mean, I don't own my own home. Where do you live? I can guess. Go on.
Newcastle.
Newcastle, okay. So a couple of 100 bags, let's be honest.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, it may not be a lot for, say, Dillian White or Eddie Hearn or anything, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe the house is a bit of an exaggeration. I mean, certainly, I mean, a lot more than my car, that's for sure.
Yeah. What do you drive?
I've got an Astra.
Oh,
It's quite new.
pretty...
Well, 2017, is it new?
Yeah. Anyway, listen, I'm just being a dick here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to know you a bit more because we've been on for like I don't know. But yeah, honestly, it bugs me the fact that these sanctioning bodies can just say, "Oh, you're in line for a title now." Like, fuck you. I've been in line for a title for fucking 3 years. Like, bollocks. And then Dylan White's been, you know, I'm sure you know Dylan White, but maybe not personally, but you know him, and it's like someone of his caliber who doesn't step down for nobody, but he's had to step down for the WBC and become just a yes man. And it's just bullshit. It's bullshit because he deserves it, you know. And even if he loses, like, I love Dylan White, and I love watching him fight, and I don't want him to lose because I feel like, you know, if he loses, like I said, I don't think he's elite, but he reminds me of like a Joe Fraser kind of fighter. Yeah, even though Joe Fraser held the title, whatever, but he's just there. He's there, and he's dangerous, and no one wants to fight him, you know. And it pisses me off that he has to fucking bend down and let these sanctioning bodies just fucking rape him because he deserves it, mate. He deserves it.
Teddy Atlas said it once, which was what WBC are doing to Dillian White and what Wilder was trying to do with Dillian White, freezing him out, is actually illegal.
Yeah. So why hasn't anyone picked up on it?
Well, I said that to Eddie Hearn once, which is one of the reasons why Eddie Hearn doesn't really talk to me anymore.
Really?
Yeah, because I put him on the spot when I interviewed him, and I said to him, when are we going to make? When are you going to make Dillian White versus Dominic Brazil? This is when Brazil was a mandatory for some bizarre reason, and he said, "Well, you know, the fans really want to see Dillian White rematch Chisora." I said, "Yeah, that's great, but that's not going to get Dillian White mandatory." Yeah, but nobody knows Dominic Brazil. And I said, you don't care about Dillian White's career. You only care about putting money in your pocket.
Yeah. Nah. And do you know what? That hurt me to hear that. That did, but I accept that was probably true. So there you go. You think I'm a fucking Hearn fanboy, but actually,
I've got it on interview.
Yeah. No, mate, I'm sure you have. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure you have. I don't deny it for 1 second, but. You know, it's like I've always said as well, like Dylan White's been fighting for Hearn for quite a long time now, but he's never given White a multi-fight deal. It's always been fight by fight. And it's like,
well,
you know,
that's Dillian White's choice. He chose to do that.
Well, yeah, of course. But if Eddie Hearn rated him as much as, you know, anyway, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like
you can make him up Eddie White couldn't refuse.
Yeah. Like I said, I love Eddie Hearn. I'm an Eddie Hearn fanboy, but he's a money man, isn't he? You know, and it's a shame. It's just a shame. This red tape in boxing ruins it for us fans who just want to see the best fight the best, you know?
Yeah. Boxing politics. We love boxing, but it makes us hate it sometimes, doesn't it?
It does, mate. Sometimes I sit here just fucking ruminating over the bullshit. And it takes, and you know, sometimes when the fights come along, it's almost like an anti-climax because I'm just like, oh fuck, man! I've been watching all these like pre-videos and stuff, and now I don't even need to see the fight, you know. But yeah.
Well, don't you think though that the boxing politics that we all talk about and all know about has always been there? It's just that we didn't have social media before.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I think now it's definitely amplified now.
Well, it's probably dirty about them with the likes of Don King.
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, 100%. But it's definitely amplified more now, just because you've got people like yourself and people like Boxing Voice and IFL TV who, you know, not so much IFL. Like, listen, I love IFL, but my problem with IFL is that they don't ask the questions us fans really want to hear. You know, they're like a mainstream channel, and that annoys me because I think sometimes I want you to ask the boxers, so what's next?
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Like, what's next? And you've won a title now. Who are you gonna fight next? Like, here, let me bring someone up if you don't mind. Shannon Courtney. What do you think? Like, what's your thoughts on her?
I don't rate her at all.
Nor me. Like, I used to be really behind her, but she just seems so arrogant. Sorry, I'm going off topic here, but I'm just trying to get as much out as I can. But yeah, so Shannon Courtney, for instance, like fucking hell, like the most unlikable champion ever.
And
it's
how is
like,
she champion?
what's that?
And how on earth is she champion?
And not even that, like, I'd be happy for her to be champion. Like, it's that the problem is not her being champion, is the problem. The problem with me is how she carries it. It's like, you fought, what was it? It was like number 7. I can't remember. You tell me. She fought number.
Yeah, Ebony Bridges. Yeah, number 6.
Yeah. And then she became a champion. And then she just becomes so arrogant, you know, so arrogant in her videos. Like, and I just think, like, how dare you, you know, like, fucking hell, how dare you be the way you are? Like, the fans are trying to get behind you, and you're just being if I'm being honest, you're being a bit of a dick. And that's not because I hate I love women's boxing. Katie Taylor, my hero, you know. Let me make sure my missus is asleep. Listen, I love Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
Love Katie Taylor. She's amazing. But then you get someone like Shannon Courtney, who's been gifted a world title. And then when you ask her, like, there was a time when she got Coogan to turn off all of her comments when she lost to Shannon for Rachel Ball. Like that's true, isn't it?
Is she the diva?
Yeah, but that's true, isn't it? Like, she got all of her comments turned off. Like, how do you get away with that? You know? Sorry, I'm
she's blonde. I said this a while ago, and I got criticism. I said the only reason why she's there is because she's blonde and relatively attractive. That's the only reason she's there. It's not based on boxing ability. Because her amateur career weren't that hot.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why she's there. She looks good on Sky Sports.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to, like, be careful about what you say, because people say, "Oh, you just don't like women's boxing," and I think that's bullshit. I fucking love women's boxing. Like, listen, mate, Ebony Bridges. I don't know about what you thought on her last fight. She definitely lost that fight. Let's be honest.
Did.
Yeah, and I think there was a moment when she looked out in the crowd and she shook her head to Eddie Hearn as if to say, "I've lost," and Eddie Hearn gave her a wink as if to say, you won that one. Because he already fucking knew she'd won, because you know,
Fix was in.
yeah, basically. But you know, she goes about her business, she tries her best, and then, like, Shannon Courtney, I just can't. She's just so unlikable. Like, you know, I think, like, she was she had a tweet a couple of years ago about, like, she was like anti-Muslim, and then, like, she got put in a photo. I think Matchroom made her go down to a gym and fight with her. Or spar someone who was from ethnic, and I just think, if you're a horrible person, mate, don't try and make it like you're not. You know. But sorry, I'm getting a bit.
One of the things that annoys me about Shannon is that she says, "Oh, you know, I'm all for women's boxing. I'm about promoting it and inspiring the next generation, and I don't like what Ebony Bridges is doing with her body, and I don't like that." Well, check out her Instagram and tell me that she don't do the same thing.
Yeah,
I know. Now she's champion. Suddenly now she's on a high horse about it.
Yeah, mate, exactly.
Always pouting every picture.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel the same, because, like, it's not even like it's from a personal standpoint. It's just because, like, me and my missus, like, I love boxing, she don't, but she gets into it now, and we both agreed that Shannon Courtney is just, like, she's just so unlikable. Like, she was asked about, like, she pulled out of her last fight, and then she was asked about it on camera. You know, with the DAZN, you know, when they were doing the red carpet thing, and she was just like, she just wouldn't, like, she wouldn't talk about it. And then she got asked about the Rachel Ball fight, and I don't know what anyone else saw, but for me, Shannon Ball won that fight, and she just like, "Oh, will you face Ball again, Rachel Ball?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about her." Like, you know, and it's like, why? Like, why would you not talk about her? Like, she's better than you. Why would you not want to fight her? And it's the same in the men's boxing. Stop swerving the champions. Like, just fight the best. Exactly. And if you're not good enough, that's okay, because you can come back. You know. But that's my gripe with boxing. It's like, the best don't want to fight the best, and they all say in their interviews, they're all like, "Well, yeah, you know, I just want to fight the best," but they don't. They all swerve each other, and that's bullshit.
Totally agree with you. All right, and Lee, I appreciate your time. I really do.
Sporting Icons, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for having me on. I think I've probably nosed you for about an hour now, but or more. But thank you so much.
No, that's good. I've got like one more person to get on, which I think he's a Tyson Fury fanatic by the looks of it. So we'll have to wait and see what he does. Let's see if he's going to be sensible or not. Huh?
Is there any way I can like talk to? Is there any way I can get like talk to you like not personally? I don't want to sound weird, but like do you know what I mean? Like like the first time I've got on your channel, I've really enjoyed it. You spoke about a lot of stuff. Is there any way I can like contact you directly or?
Yeah, get on to Twitter or Instagram. Are you on them?
Cool. Sporting, honestly, thank you for letting me talk my bullshit.
No, it's been a pleasure having you on. I do appreciate it. Thanks again, my man. You take care.
Thank you so much. Speak to you soon.
All right, buddy. Take care. All right, James. Firstly, welcome. I hope you're well. I see that you've been arguing with some people in the comment section. Would you like to address anybody in the comment section?
I'm just here
You're
for
trolling them.
the representation for the Fury Fanatics. They're out there. They're coming to get you.
Wearing it on the sleeve and proud. How are you anyway?
That's the one. But I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks very much. So are you genuinely a Tyson Fury super fan?
Yeah, that's the one. Super fan me.
Yeah. Why is that?
Yep.
What is it about Fury that you like about him?
I think he's the best boxer in the world.
What, ever or currently?
Ever.
Okay, what in heavyweight division or all time?
All time.
No, you're not. You're trolling now.
I'm not trolling. I'm not. I'm not.
You're telling me
Right.
that Fury's having a better career than, say, Muhammad Ali, isn't that?
Yeah, Muhammad Ali, paper champion.
Oh, okay. Everyone's a paper champion except Tyson Fury.
That's the one.
Okay. Did Tyson Fury get robbed in the first Wilder fight?
Yep.
I agree with that one.
100%.
I would agree that Tyson Fury should not have a draw on his resume.
Doesn't matter anyway. Tyson Fury is a lineal heavyweight champion, so he is the best.
He's not lineal. Come on now.
He is lineal.
He's not lineal.
He
Well,
is.
Tyson Fury said he's lineal. He's lineal.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. So do you believe everything Tyson Fury says?
Yep.
You do?
Yep.
Do you have posters of him on your wall?
How did you guess? You must.
Oh, you do?
How did you
man.
guess?
You the man.
That's the one. That's the one.
You the man. I'm glad that you came on. That's good.
I look at him before I go to sleep and I worship him.
You do?
I do.
Oh, cool. So you've got like a little altar, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's the one.
Oh, man. That's cool. Because I've got one for Matchroom.
I know. You
Yeah.
love a bit of Matchroom.
I do. I absolutely love Matchroom.
For real,
can't
though.
help
For real. I'm not that bad. I'm not that
Yeah,
bad. I just honestly do think Tyson Fury is the best boxer at this current moment in time in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
But
do you think that it would be nice if he proved it by fighting other people outside of Wilder?
that situation there, I don't know if he got misconstrued or whatever. I think there's more to that than meets the eye.
You think there's more than they're actually telling us?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think Tyson Fury. Well, I don't think the fight should be happening. Really, no one wants to see this fight. No, not even Tyson Fury Fanatics.
No.
It's a lot of rubbish, to be honest with you.
And
All
what
we're
makes
gonna
it
see
worse?
is-
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I don't know. All we're going to see is we're just going to see the second fight all over again, I think.
Hopefully, but I mean, for me, I see it as that Tyson Fury is under contract and he's being told to fight Wilder, as in by Bob Arum and
Probably.
Top Rank.
Because I don't know. But I don't know how many fights he's got left on that deal. Was it a 5-fight deal? I don't know.
Yeah, he's got 2 fights left. This one and then one more.
Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah,
all this will bite him. I mean, maybe all this will bite Bob Arum that in the ass, because maybe he'll fight Wilder next, and then maybe he'll go have a voluntary against, I don't know, Tom Schwartz in a rematch. Then he's out of contract. He can go fight AJ without having to give Bob Arum a damn penny.
Maybe.
So maybe he's actually been a smart Mrs. man.
I don't know. I can see Tyson Fury retiring after this fight. To be honest with you, I
think
he'll
so?
retire. 100%. I can't see him. I can't see him last at all.
You think maybe he'll come back in like a couple of years' time and try and fight whoever the champion is?
No, I think he'd be done. To be honest
Yeah,
with you.
really?
Yeah, I think he'd go back to it like he was last time.
We'll just live in and out of pizza shops and kebab shops.
That's the one. I can promise you now. I actually do think he's the best boxer.
Yeah.
I would call myself a Tyson Fury fanatic, but I think even the fanatics at this point are not even that fanatical. I think we've had enough.
I know you'll be surprised.
Nah.
Honestly, you'll be surprised. Some of the comments that I get, man. Honestly, you'd be surprised. I think some of them genuinely believe it. That Tyson Fury is the reincarnation of Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I think he's the best boxer. I think if AJ and Tyson Fury actually did fight, I think Tyson Fury would win.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a closer fight than some people think.
Yeah.
But I don't think AJ's the. He's a good boxer.
I mean, Fury's not unbeatable.
He's not unbeatable.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a lot of Fury fanatics, as we call them, who believe that he's invincible. He'll go the rest of his career, another 10, 20 fights, and never lose.
Realistically, he's got maybe 3 fights left in him.
Yeah. Do you think that Tyson Fury is as good now as he was in 2015 when he fought Klitschko?
Tyson Fury's funny, you know. Like, I think he's more mental than anything else. I don't think physically it matters. I think it's more mentally.
Yeah.
I think it's whether he's right in the head or not.
Yeah.
Because you can see him fight other opposition like Tom Schwartz when he fought Otto Wallin, whatever. I think mentally he didn't care about those fights. He fights to the boxer's level and just tries to G up the crowd and stuff like that. Where like in the Klitschko fight, I think he was more obsessed with that one and actually wanted it more.
That's a good point, actually. That's actually a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I believe, but I don't know. That guy's head, I think, is more messed up than anyone else could think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe that's why, like, some people call him bipolar. I don't know if he's bipolar. I have absolutely no idea, but a lot of people do. Maybe he genuinely is.
I think he could be. I think that's probably. I think he was always changing his mind. You know, one day he says one thing, next day he says another, and it can totally contradict the first thing he says.
Yeah, he's worse than my wife, I tell you. He really is.
That's just women for you, don't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. So you think that he's going to do another job on Wilder?
I think he'll beat Wilder, and I think it's either AJ next or he retires. That's what I think. Yeah.
Do you think AJ beats Usyk?
That one I think is going to be real close. I can see that going. I think it's a 50-50 fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think Usyk, he's got the footwork and he's a small, because he's smaller as well.
Yeah.
And I think Povetkin in the the earlier rounds? Not earlier rounds. When Povetkin fought Dillian White, I think that's what's gonna happen when you fight like a smaller man because you can just drop the shoulder easier and you can just get in and you can get out, kind of thing.
And then just land that shot.
Yeah, that's the one.
Could well happen. And what do you think of Dillian White versus Otto Wallin? Good fight or not?
I think it's a good fight. I can see Otto Wallin beating, to be honest. I think that's a 50-50 fight. Because I think Dillian White, you know, he's coming off a very big victory, but he did lose. So maybe that might affect his mindset. Who knows?
Do you think it's a risk that maybe he shouldn't take? As in, maybe he should just sit there knowing he's going to get the Fury Wilder winner, technically?
Yeah. But also, he's in that Portugal camp, and you don't really see much about what's coming out of that. I don't know if he's still in Portugal, but you don't see much about him in that Portugal camp.
No, you don't. Well, I mean, I know that he trains literally every single day. Straight after the Povetkin fight, he had like 1 week off, and then he's literally back in the gym.
Yeah, I do like Dillian White. He's probably my second favorite boxer or fighter at the moment. But
yeah,
I think I just want to see him. I just want to see him fight the best. I want to fight the best. I want to see him fight for a belt. I think that's what I like to do.
Exactly. Win, lose, or draw. Give him that world title shot.
I know. I've been following him for the 4 years, whatever it is, since the AJ fight. I was following like seriously. I can't remember how many years ago that was now. Like what? I don't even know. But I watched every single fight since then. And
Yeah.
I just want to see him fight. I'd love to see him fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good fight.
Well, according to Tyson, that's who he's fighting next.
Well, Tyson Fury next. Will be saying he'd fight like. I could see Ortiz next.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Ortiz.
Oh God.
That dinosaur. He'd go out. Well, retirement. I don't even know. Retirement home. That's where he'd come out of.
I was thinking about this earlier. I thought, well, if Tyson Fury's got one more fight left on his ESPN contract, and obviously he's a Frank Warren fighter, believe it or not, he actually is. Don't be surprised if you see Tyson Fury versus Joe Joyce next.
Yeah, knowing Frank Warren, he'd go, you know what? Let's put Daniel Dubois in there.
Oh,
that's Frank Warren's mindset.
Poor Daniel Dubois. He doesn't know he's about to get fed to the lions, does he?
He doesn't. Frank Warren, like he's not there. He's not all good. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he's lost it, Frank Warren.
Yeah, I think so too. The poor fella. He's done a lot of good things in boxing, but he seems to be behind the curve lately.
I don't know. I think I think Eddie Hearn's just upstaging him.
That's worrying.
100%, because Eddie Hearn's got the platform. He's put himself out there with no context, Eddie Hearn, and he's everywhere.
Do you think that maybe with Eddie Hearn, he gets like a lot of stick, and I think rightfully so, but I think that maybe a lot of it is deliberate.
No, 100%, because I think it just goes down to good publicity is bad? I don't know. Was it bad publicity is good publicity? And everything's just put yourself out there.
Yeah, exactly. If they talk bad about you or good about you, they're still talking about you.
Exactly.
He's made himself into a celebrity.
Because I even my mum talks about Eddie Hearn. I think she's like, my mum doesn't know boxing, but she knows Eddie Hearn.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it must be working.
Yeah. My wife's the same, and my wife don't like Eddie Hearn. She's seen him on TV before and go, "Who's that dick?" I don't worry about it.
That's the one. But my mum doesn't know who Frank Warren is. I can tell you that much.
No. Yeah, same. You're saying my wife. When I said to my wife, I'm interviewing Barry Hearn, she went, "Who?" I'm like, never mind.
Barry, yeah.
Yeah, and with Bob Barron, she said, "Who?" The man.
Barry doesn't give him 5 years, they'll be gone.
Well,
not like that, but we're gone from the sport of boxing.
Well, one of them might be.
Maybe.
All right, James. Listen, man, I appreciate your time and the entertainment to kick that one off.
That's okay. Good. Just bigging up the Tyson Fury Fanatics. We're out there. We come to get you. AJ, look out.
That's the one. Everyone, get your Tyson Fury posters on your wall.
That's the one.
All right, buddy. You take care.
Fury, let's go.
Luke Fury, big him up. Take care, man.
All right, take care. See ya.
Try it. All right, everyone. So that is the guest for now. I've been doing this for 3.5 hours. Believe it or not, I was only planning on doing it for about an hour. So I'm going to head on off because it's now 1:30 in the morning. My throat's dry. I've actually finished off a can of Coke and a bottle of water and I haven't been for a slash yet. So I've been holding back for a little while. And I know I haven't been interacting with a lot of yous in the comment section as much as I would normally do on a live stream. Not do too many live streams, but I have been reading them as they're going through. You guys have been quite entertaining with your banter backwards and forwards. Difficult to know who's being serious and who isn't, who's trolling and whatever else. Listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to Tyson Fury and the Fanatics, listen, everybody is entitled to like who they want to like. Everyone's entitled to support who they want to support. But at the end of the day, everyone else is allowed an opinion. Okay, you may not like that opinion, and that's fine. Okay, but what I really wanted was some of the fanboys to come on who have been like threatening, like if I ever see you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do it. These are the kind of ones that I really, really want to come on. Unfortunately, none of them turned up today because I really wanted to give them a damn good blasting, but it didn't really happen. So anyway, listen, everyone, thank you very, very much for spending time with me today. I do appreciate it. As I said before, I have been watching your comments. I really have. Yeah, you know, you guys have been keeping me entertained for quite some time. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Good night. thank you very much for tuning in. It's a hell of a long stream. 3 hours, 24 minutes. All right. So good night to each and every one of you. If you're not subscribed yet, it's free. That little red button where it says subscribe, turn to grey. It may actually bring you some luck. And welcome, you found us. Congratulations. Anyway, take care, everybody. Again, thanks very much for your support. Good night.